What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing, and welcome to the Broadway show, man. I ain't have a name. Like I was just be going live and just throwing up the name of the link. What I'm gonna talk about. When I'm just talking, when it's just me here, when there's no interview, I gotta had to come up with the name, the Broadway show, man. This man. When you watch this, you gotta watch this in a suit, man. This is a black tie event. This is the Broadway show. Know what I'm saying? Your hair got to be slick to the side. I don't care what kind of hair you got to be slick to the side when you on the Broadway show. Know what I'm saying? Got to make sure your shoes are shined. Got to make sure you showered before you come on my show. Make sure you showered. You freshly showered, man, because this is the Broadway show, man. Know what I'm saying? What's going on, man? I was supposed to interview Bob Santos today, but unfortunately he was not able to make it. He canceled on me due to a couple I'm not gonna say why, but point is he couldn't make it today, so that's unfortunate. I wanted to have him on so we could talk about what happened in the Tank Garcia fight, as well as what's coming up with Puello. I know Eric Mini Pac-Man Rose is back in Vegas. Victor Santillán is back training with him. So I wanted to get his mind, what was the game plan going into the Tank fight, what happened in that corner, how he sees Garcia's future moving forward, so on and so forth, as well as what's going on with Puello. How's Puello looking in camp, and Mini Pac-Man going to Thailand to fight the longest reigning champion in boxing in knockout CP Freshmont. So I really was looking forward to that interview, but maybe I'll get him on next week sometime. I definitely want to get him on, and so we could chop it up, talk some things. But yeah. So this Saturday, Beterbiev, or is it Arthur? Because whatever. Point is, Beterbiev, whatever his name is fighting Anthony Yard of the UK. And surprisingly, on Twitter, a lot of boxing fans that I respect their opinion are picking Yard to win by knockout. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what you watching. Listen, that dude Beterbiev is a beast. He's an animal. He comes forward. He has a lot of knockout power, 100% knockout ratio. He is fighting in the other guy's hometown, but when you knocking dudes out and you hit as hard as Beterbiev, that really don't matter. Like where you fighting is irrelevant if you knocking dudes out. So I do think that Beterbiev is gonna go over there and knock him out. I do think Yard gives it a go, but I don't think he goes past the 6th or 7th round, to be honest with you. Thing is with Beterbiev, it's just constant pressure, and he never slows down. You know what I'm saying? He just keeps going and going and going, and he has heavy hands, and he's a big dude. Like, apart that he's a big puncher, he's a big for the weight. Like, I don't know if you guys remember in the Marcus Brown fight, he actually missed weight. He had to leave, go cut some more weight, and go and make the 175. He's a big 175 pounder. And matter of fact, let me check this. If I'm not mistaken, he fought in the heavyweight in the Olympics, and he fought Usyk in the Olympics. That's who he lost to. So it's like this dude got very, very extensive amateur background, is very big, has a high knockout percentage. So I don't see no way which he loses. To Yard specifically. I do think my man Bivol cooks him, to be honest with you. I think Bivol cooks him. Bivol, I think he uses great footwork and jabs and moves around. I honestly think that, but that's not the fight that's going on. I would love that fight, by the way. That's an undisputed fight, and unfortunately, that's not in the works, at least not that I know of. Yeah, he fought at heavyweight. He beat Michael Hunter in his first fight, and then the second fight he lost to Alexander Usyk, who ended up becoming the gold medalist that year. That was in 2012, and when the Olympics were in London. Yeah, no, and he has a very deep amateur background. I'm seeing all these tournaments. He's won a lot of medals and stuff like that. Like he was the gold medalist in the European Amateur Championship. Uh, he was the gold medalist in the World Cup team Oh no, it says silver medalist, but it shows that he beat everybody. So that's weird. Yeah, now he has a very extensive amateur background. Nah, but I definitely don't think that Yard is gonna beat him. I do think he give it a go. I do think he makes it an interesting fight the first 4 or 5 rounds, because if we're being honest, Beterbiev is there to be hit. It's not like the dude is Mayweather or Sweet Pea, like he's not getting hit. He's super slick, and Yard is a big puncher. Like he's not what Beterbiev is, but he's 23-2 with 22 knockouts. Like you know, and I understand. Oh, who is he knocking out? And some of that criticism may be fair. Who's he knocking out, right? But if you scoring knockouts at that clip, I don't know, man. I don't know. That just seems like a lot of knockouts. At some point, some of these guys were good. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was good. You don't win all these, regional titles and defend these. And he was a British champion. And he went through the ringer. So at some point he faced some kind of resistance to show where that his power is real. I just don't think he's gonna be enough for my man Beterbiev. Tay, my man Tay, what's going on, bro? Shout out to my man Tay. Yeah, nah, I don't think I don't think the Yard is fucking with Beterbiev, to be honest with you. I really, really don't. Also, I just want to, you know what? Let me put the link in the chat. I don't know if anybody wants to call in. Let me do that. Also, I'm super excited, man, for that Inoue Fulton. I know that fight doesn't even have a date, but the fact that it's agreed to in principle, that really excites me. That really excites me. I like that. I like that. I like the idea of that fight. I love it. It's in my opinion, number one pound for pound. Naoya Inoue moving up after becoming undisputed at 118, moving up to 122 and taking on the number one guy, unified champion, who's in my top 10 of pound for pound fighters. So these are two top 10 pound for pound fighters. One of them I have number one. And in his first fight in the division, he's taking on the number one guy. You got to do nothing but respect Inoue for doing that. And then you got to give my man Stephen Fulton respect for traveling to Japan to make the fight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes, they want everything comfortable. No, it got to be in my hometown, and the ring size got to be this. And it has to be a catch weight. And I have to come out first, and I have to be in the red corner. All these extracurricular things that can maybe throw out a fight from happening. Stephen Fulton is like, nah, whatever you want to do in Japan, let's go. Where's the money at? There's more money in Japan. We'll do it over there. So shout out to Stephen Fulton, and shout out to Inoue for taking on the number one guy as soon as he enters the division. I'm very, very excited for this fight. I got Inoue winning. No disrespect to Fulton. I'm an American. He's an American. I think he's a good fighter, but I can't pick anybody who's never been in a competitive fight. I'm sorry. If Inoue's never been in a competitive fight, there's never been a fight where the decision, there's very few fights he's had a decision, but the ones that he had a decision, none of them you were like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna get the decision. I wonder if he won this fight. None of them. There were not a single one. And then he's knocking dudes out early. That's what's impressive with the Butler fight, being aside. He's knocking most of these dudes out. Second, third, sixth round. Like, there's very few fighters that have gotten past the sixth round. I don't think people understand how hard that is. I've never seen it in my lifetime. Put it like that. What Inoue is doing right now, I've never seen in my lifetime. Somebody who's consistently knocking out top guys early. Nobody, like barely people getting past the sixth or seventh round. I very rarely have seen. Oh, I have never seen that. Let me put it like that. Honestly, what he's doing it to some degree is Tyson esque. And if you really want to get gully, he's doing it for a longer period than Tyson did. So, you know, uh, how likely is it to, you asking how likely is it to happen? Very likely. From what I understand, everything has been agreed upon. Everything has been agreed upon, and that they're just working out on, the small details as far as date, But if from what I understand, and Newey's gonna get 5 million. This is what I've heard. Newey's gonna get 5 million, and Fulton's getting 3 million. The fight's gonna be in Japan. I'm looking forward to it, man. That's a banger. That's a banger. I love it. I love it. My man Chicken Talk. Shout out to Lefty, man. Definitely go check out his channel, man. My man Chicken Talk for sure. By the way, the link is in the chat. Anybody want to hop on and talk, talk on the Broadway show. But make sure you're wearing a tie. Make sure you looking fresh. This is the Broadway show, man. I don't care if you're not gonna show the camera. If you're gonna call in, make sure you're looking your best. This is the Broadway show. Know what I'm saying? My man said in yen or dollars. Nah, he's gonna get paid in dollars, man. Gonna get paid in dollars, man. Come on, it's gonna be fun. Honestly, like $1 is like it's the conversion is crazy. Hold on, let me see. Like $1 in yen is 129 yens. Yo, that's insane. That's insane. That's a lot. That's a lot. $1 gets you 129 yens. So that's why, like, a lot of like, I'm a baseball fan. You hear about these Japanese players, they'll be like, yeah, he signed a 700 million yen contract. You're like 700 million yen. Then it's like, oh, all right, it's a lot of money, but it's not as much as it sounds. Yeah, man. Yeah, don't call in, man. You got to be wearing a tie. You got to part your hair. You got to put the chemicals or the cream or the gel, whatever you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to look good on the Broadway show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah. Nah. But yeah. So again, for the people who just happened on, it's happened to me twice. I was supposed to interview Regis Prograis on Monday. He canceled on me, and then today I was supposed to interview my man Bob Santos, but he canceled on me. So I hit a little bit of a bad luck in terms of the interviews, but I was like, I'm still going live. It's Wednesday. I was gonna Wednesday 7:00 Eastern. I go live every single Wednesday, whether I have a guest or not. So I was like, I'm definitely gonna go live. I just wish I would have had more time to prepare as far as topics. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, all right. Thoughts on Tim Tszyu versus Tony Harrison? Books got it pretty much 50-50. I'm shocked Tim took this fight. Well, yes, I'm shocked Tim took this fight too. I would have, to be honest with you, I would have sat out. I would have sat out and waited for that Charlo fight. Because one, I'll be honest, I don't think Tim Tszyu's that good, man. Like I think he doesn't move his head enough for like big punches and like elite level guys. I think he's a good fighter. I don't think he's trash, but I don't think he's up to that level where he can compete with with the big dogs. I was predicting that Charlo was gonna smoke him like in 5th, 6th round. I got Tony Harrison winning that fight. But the only thing is that Tony Harrison, that gas tank, man. I don't know if I trust that gas tank. Like, do you? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. And the fight's in Australia. You know what I'm saying? So that's also a part of it. I'm curious because a lot of people see this as a closer fight, and the books have it 50-50. So a lot of people see this as a closer fight than I do. So I'm okay with being wrong. You know what I'm saying? I see Tony Harrison pulling it off. I see him going to Australia and pulling it off, and us getting the third a third Charlo Harrison fight, because right now it's 1-1. Yeah, Charlo got his get back in a knockout fashion, but he still lost the first fight. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I don't know what to say. By the way, everybody hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like and subscribe button. Helps me out with the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely do that for me, man. But Tim Zoo, I'm not high on Tim Zoo. I'll be honest with you. I'm not high on Tim Zoo. Like if he never became champion, I wouldn't be surprised. Put it like that. That's how I view him. And that's no disrespect to him, but it's just, he hasn't shown me anything. That fight against Terrell Gausha, he just kept getting hit by the same overhand right. He wasn't moving his head. He wasn't making adjustments. He wasn't pull countering, wasn't doing anything creative to move out of the way out of that right hand, and just kept getting hit with it. So that's why I was like, yo, if he fights Charlo and Charlo lands one of those big overhand rights on him, and lands one of those bombs, he's gone. He's gone. That's it. It's over. It's knocked out. He's gonna be knocked out. So I was predicting a blowout, when he was scheduled to fight Charlo. I don't remember the odds for it, but yeah. I was like, if they have it close, I'm definitely putting the bag on Jamel. Which, by the way, that fight not happening actually messed up Elvis Rodriguez. He got hurt. Charlo got hurt. Elvis was gonna be on that undercard, and yeah, man. Unfortunately, now he has to be on the Subrio Matias Elvis Jeremias Ponce undercard. You know what I'm saying? That's a much less bigger fight as opposed to a fight of an undisputed fight. So and that fight was gonna be in Vegas. This fight is gonna be in Minnesota, man. Yo, like that shit got me tight, man. Anytime they throw a Dominican out in Minnesota, bro, my blood boils, man. My blood boils. I'm like, yo, y'all throwing them in freaking the North Pole. Y'all throwing them in South Canada. You know what I'm saying? Not getting no looks out there, you know. But whatever. I mean, hey, he was supposed to fight in Vegas, and although obviously I want him fighting on the East Coast. And by the way, I wonder why PBC had New York on lock at one point. That Barclays Center, yo, all those Sean Porter and Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia fights, yo, they were all at the Barclays. Wilder was fighting there constantly. Danny Jacobs, like, yo, I remember when the Barclays Center was like, I was almost thinking like, yo, they got too many cards here, like they oversaturating the New York market. That's almost how I felt. And out of nowhere, I'm not sure what happened. They steered away from there. Maybe New York is too expensive. Maybe they figured out. I don't know how much money they making with fights in Minnesota, but I wonder what happened. What happened with the Barclays Center that they stopped putting so many shows? It was like almost every other week there was a fight in the Barclays Center. So yeah, I just want my Dominicans on in New York, man. And if you can't make it in New York, man, yo, look, Shakur Stevenson. I know he's a local Newark fighter, but he's bringing fans to Newark. Yo, that Prudential Center, yo, why don't y'all put some fights there? You know, put some fights there. I think New Jersey is an untapped market, especially if you Newark, or if you don't even want to do Newark, that Atlantic City, that's a good drive for us. It's like a 2-hour drive, but for people, it's an easy sell from New Yorkers because, like, all right, you come here for the fight, but you go one. That's something you could bring. Like, let's say if you got a girl, yo, come with me. We'll watch the fight. Afterwards, we'll go clubbing, or we'll go somewhere and we'll gamble the day before. Or there's a comedy show. Like, they do a lot of comedy shows and magic shows out in Atlantic City. You could plan like a weekend. You could make it like a vacation. But Minnesota, man, like convincing people to take a flight to one of the coldest areas in America in February, the coldest month. I don't know, man. I don't know how y'all expect to build a fan base. And also, speaking of that, there's another thing I want to complain about, man. I'm on the Broadway show, man. I gotta Yeah, y'all know I gotta talk about what I gotta talk about. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. This is something that really upset me, and I talked about it on Twitter. Then people were trying to tell me, you know what? I'm not even gonna mention what I was about to say, but I'm just gonna show y'all something, and y'all tell me if y'all have a problem with it, because I definitely have a problem with it. I definitely have a problem with it. So PBC makes a poster of the fight with Matias versus Ponce. And instead of having Elvis Rodriguez, they got Jamal James fighting Paul Meta. They have him it was on the flyer. So if you was to see this, and look, on February 25th, KO artist Subriel Matias will battle Jeremy Esponza for the vacant IBF 140 pound world title live on Showtime from blah, blah, blah. No mention of Elvis Rodriguez. The poster, no mention of Elvis Rodriguez. Oh, Jamal James is a local Minnesota guy. First of all, I really don't give a shit because there's no future in this guy. This guy is never going to become world champion at 147. Never. Never. Book it. You know what I'm saying? So why is he taking up space on a flyer when you shouldn't be that invested? Oh, but he's a local guy. He sells tickets. Cool. You want to keep him on the flyer? Yo, you can't add Elvis Rodriguez on the flyer? Is that difficult to create space? It's not. It's not. It's really not. We've all seen posters with 3-4 fights on it where they show. If you're not gonna put his picture, at least put his name. You know what I'm saying? And that's and the Jamal James fight is the co-main event. I'm like, man, I don't know what they're doing with Elvis, man. I really, and I don't like to criticize PBC too much because they're the only ones investing in Dominicans, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? They're the only ones really investing in the Dominicans, like, top rank. You take one loss, they cut you. Like Michelle lost, he didn't get cut. You know what I'm saying? They still got him there. Garcia just lost, he didn't get cut. They still got Garcia. So, like, that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like they investing, but yo, I don't know who's in the offices over there at PBC, what they doing with Elvis, but whatever they doing is not good. It's not good. There you go. They could put plus Jamal James and Elvis Rodriguez. Absolutely. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. There's no need. Like, you gotta put Elvis on that flyer, man. You gotta put Elvis on that flyer. You gotta promote him. You gotta show people, yo, you selling something, but they may be a willing customer, but they may not know that you selling it. I was very disappointed with how that flyer came out. I really was. I spoke on it on Twitter. People try to tell me it wasn't PBC who put it out and this, that. So I took it down. I took down the tweets. But then they put it out on a Twitter, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought it wasn't them. So I'm very disappointed with how that flyer came out, really. And again, I don't like to criticize them too much because they the only ones that invested in the they got all the Dominicans with the exception of Rohan Polanco, and Rohan Polanco is signed to Top Rank, and he hasn't even have a fight on Top Rank. He's just signed with them. So we'll see how that pans out. You know what I'm saying? Punch Drunk says you can put Dominicans in Fordham University in the Bronx or United Palace in Washington Heights. Honestly, that United Palace one is the one I want, man. Because a lot of people from it's gonna sound fucked up, but a lot of people from not the Bronx that are Dominican, they're not gonna want to go to the Bronx, but they'll go to Washington Heights. You know what I'm saying? Just the perception of the Bronx, unfortunately, is bad. But yo, that United Palace, man, holds, I think, how many people does it hold? Hold on, let me Google that. And to be honest, I don't know the layout of so I don't know if it's conducive for boxing, but the capacity is 3,327. Yo, how much is the Hulu theater? The Hulu theater is what, like 4,000? Let me see. And you know damn well renting out the United Palace Center is a lot cheaper than the Hulu theater. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. What was it? It says anywhere between 2,000 and 5,600. I can't get an exact number. Oh, it says 5,600. There you go. So I guess anywhere from 2,000 to 5,600 depends on the event, I'm assuming. But there you go, man. Like that's not that much bigger than than the United Palace out in Washington Heights. And again, man, yo, they do something like that. They put a card out in Washington Heights with a bunch of Dominicans. Yo, just me and my crazy ass promoting that shit'll be sold out. I guarantee you that'll be sold out. I will be out there with signs and shirts and out there really representing, making sure my shit is, well represented. But I honestly, I doubt they do that. I doubt they don't bring cards to New York, and when they do, they put it at the Barclays Center. I'm not sure if they have a deal with the Barclays Center, like, oh, anytime you fight in New York, it has to be in the Barclays, because they never done no shows in Madison Square Garden or the Hulu Theater or because that's the thing. PBC doesn't do business with the Madison Square Garden for whatever reason. I guess and I think they have a contract with Barclays Center. But yo, if they did, that would be perfect because yo, Top Rank does really good business on that Hulu Theater. Dominicans, our fighters, we're not ready for a big arena fight. We're not ready for a 20,000 seat arena. I'll be honest with you. We're not going to sell that many tickets. But you give us that Hulu Theater with a good matchups and good B-sides, yo, we could pack that shit out, especially now that the market has changed with me involved. And what I mean by that is now a lot of people more aware who these Dominican fighters are, as well as I have a huge family and they see what I'm doing. They're like, oh man, you do that Dominican boxing stuff. That's cool. Some of them watch it, some of them don't, but they know that that's my niche. If I tell them, all I gotta do is tell them, yo, there's a Dominican fight in the Hulu Theater. Come, you'll be supporting me. Just bring a Dominican flag. Every single one of them will tell me yes. Some will bring their wives, some will bring their husbands, some will bring their kids, some will bring a bunch of their boys, some will bring a bunch of their homegirls. And yo, me by myself, I'll probably bring 200-300 people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but unfortunately, they're like they don't see the vision. Nobody really seems to be focused on how to promote the Dominicans. It's kind of like just throw them on cards and hope one of them pop, and I that's not promoting, bro. That's not promoting. Hold on, I want to address this, but also the Dominican fighter needs to stop with the Mr. Nice Guy humble role. They need to start talking ish. We loud. Yeah, I'll address that. So one of the things that like I noticed from having conversations when I'm on the phone with these dudes, a lot of those dudes were on the Dominican national team. And when you're on the Dominican national team, it's very militaristic. And not only that, literally, once you join the national team, you have to serve the country. You either have to be a cop, a Marine, or part of the military. So a lot of those guys were part of the military and stuff like that. So a lot of times I'll call, yo, dime a ver, que lo que, blah, blah, blah. And they go, oh, buenos días, tú sabes, ¿cómo estás, mi hermano? And they're very polite and stuff like that, just because the ways they went through the national team. Now, a guy like Edwin de los Santos, if you see how he talks, if you see how he's on Instagram, he's a bit more aggressive, a bit more funny. He kind of talks like the way us Dominicans talk, oh, dime a ver, que lo que, blah, blah, blah. And he was never on the Dominican national team. You get what I'm saying? So you see the differences as far as at least I've noticed the difference as when I'm on the phone with some of these guys who've been on the national team and the ones who haven't tend to be a little bit more, more raw, more rugged, like kind of like, how we are, that's how we are. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, it to the point, like, unfortunately, marketability wise, a lot of them are like humble and nice and don't want to disrespect and that's come from their military background. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, yo, Randy, that's a great idea. Puello versus Rolly at the United Palace would be fire. Absolutely. Or at the Hulu Theater. Again, I know PBC doesn't do business at Madison Square Garden, but that's a perfect Hulu Theater fight. You put Puello, Rolly, and and you don't really got to go crazy on the undercard. You put, Luis Nunez or Elvis Rodriguez or one of those guys on the undercard. That'd be perfect, man. I'm telling you, they really. Hold on. Word, they need to self promote themselves because these promoters ain't doing it. But that's the problem. Yo, how the hell you a promoter and I gotta promote myself? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? I hate when they tell the fighters, yo, you don't sell tickets. All right, well, that's your problem, bro. I don't sell tickets, but you not getting me out there to be more popular so people want to buy tickets to see me. And by the way, none of the Dominicans, there's not a single Dominican right now or of recent memory that fights like Rigo, that, runs. We got exciting fighters. De Los Santos knocking at people out. Carlos Adames never been a boring fighter. Hector Garcia's not a boring fighter. You know what I'm saying? No, we don't have no boring fighters. There's not a single one. At least the top guys. Elvis Rodriguez knocking dudes out. You know what I'm saying? Puello, last fight against Akhmadov was one of the best fights last year. So it's like none of our fighters are boring. So it's like it's a matter. All right. So if they're not boring, then who? What else does it fall on? It falls on whoever's moving them. All right, hold on. He said promoters promote the event. Fighters got to promote themselves. Yeah, but to some degree, I don't agree with that. Fighters got to promote themselves. So what's the point of a promoter? You promoting the event, letting people know that there's a fight. That's all you doing. And even if that's all the promoter's job, it's in your best interest to make a little Instagram clip, for that to them. Text that, and that the cost of that is close to nothing compared to what these promoters be making. For you to hire a fucking 23-year-old, all right, from now on, what you're going to do is you're going to make Instagram clips, these, 45-second clips of them working out or highlights of their fights, putting a little fancy music on it and text it to them. And not just Dominican fighters. I'm talking about all fighters. You do that, yo, boom. Yo, you send that to fucking Stanionis. You send it to Boots. You send it to Elvis. You send it to, Charlo, and you just do shit like that. That's something so easy that you could hire a 22-year-old and pay him $55,000 a year just to edit, highlight, and put it out on your on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, as well as individualize certain things for the fighters to promote themselves. These dudes are working in the gym, and specifically dudes who come from like third world countries. Like, they don't know how to use Twitter like that. They don't know how to fucking use, Instagram like that. And I'm not even making fun of them. A lot of them, like, they just not that savvy. Now, Elvis is actually somebody who's very savvy with the social media. He's in LA with Freddie Roach. So I'm not sure if there's somebody in that camp that like helps him out with it, makes it look clean, makes it look nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not so sure about that. But, it's just I feel like there's no creativity in terms of how these guys get promoted. The NBA doesn't promote LeBron. They promote the NBA events. He's a part of it. His commercials and endorsements don't come from the NBA. I mean, thing is, to compare the NBA to boxing is a bit unfair because the NBA, the business they're doing is massive. So they're promoting, I guess, like you said, their events, but they know their events are so massive that the players, if they perform, are gonna get noticed. You get what I'm saying? That's like like Elvis. It doesn't matter if he knocks out this guy in the first round and it's one of the nastiest knockouts you've ever seen in your entire life. This fight is on Showtime and on the undercard in Minnesota. This is not going to get the buzz that it should. Now, if he was fighting Mayweather, and I'm just saying, like, that's a big event that they will be promoting, and he scored a nasty first round knockout. That's a big event, and then he would have already made himself a name for himself on the big event. But not every event in boxing is big. You get what I'm saying? So I just think there's no creativity, there's no innovation as far as how these promoters. And by the way, I'm not singling out PBC. This is all of them. Top Rank, The Zone, Matchroom, Golden Boy. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. I don't see much innovation as far as promoting. And another thing that I think the UFC has over boxing is a part that, you know, they have most of the big fighters and stuff like that, is they have Dana White pounding the table, giving interviews, going around and screaming and yelling and making sure his presence is known, making sure he's promoting events. And when you want to know something about the UFC, you know who to talk to. Like Top Rank, Bob Arum is very old. He's not really out here doing interviews like that, and he's not pounding the table, doing all that stuff. Who his second in command is Todd the Buff. You get what I'm saying? And like I really don't see him promoting like that. Al Heyman doesn't do interviews. Oscar, I'm not even gonna touch Oscar, but y'all know, man, he don't be on that either. He don't be on that pounding, giving interviews, going everywhere, making sure people know what's going on in his company. Eddie Hearn does do that, but he failed to make the big fights in America. I feel like once he came with that DAZN shit to America, I feel like he could have took over had he made the fights that the fans wanted. Had he made Triple G Andrade or Andrade versus Canelo, and had he managed to bring Haney versus Kambosos or Haney versus Teofimo to DAZN, had he managed those big fights, I feel like he could have done it. But I feel like he's slowly leaving the American market. He's slowly leaving the American market because he hasn't figured it out. And he's hold on one second. Yeah, all right. Sorry, I was trying to get somebody on for an interview. They just text me back that they can't do it. So that's why made me lose my train of thought. But damn, what was I saying? Somebody in the chat tell me what I was saying. But yeah, there's nobody really pounding the table. Nobody really like going like doing interviews, and there's not really much creative innovation of promoting. Like everybody does their fight on a Saturday. Every single promoter does their fight super duper late, where if you're a 12-year-old kid and you're interested in boxing, you're not going to stay up till 1 a.m. to watch Garcia versus Tank. It's past your bedtime. You get what I'm saying? Maybe you could stay up to 11 and you got a cool parent. You know what I'm saying? But to stay up to 1 a.m, like that's unreasonable. And then every single fight is on a Saturday. What about the people that want to go out clubbing on Saturday? You get what I'm saying? Like I feel like there's everybody is just going and doing the same exact shit. And I don't like where the sport is going, to be honest with you. And maybe the numbers, disagree with what I'm saying. Maybe the boxing is thriving, but I just feel like it will be thriving a lot more if there was at least one promoter doing something different. Putting fights on Wednesdays and Tuesdays, and and it doesn't have to be the biggest fights. If your analytics show that Saturdays are the biggest fights, all right, well then put the biggest fights on Saturdays. But to make the main event come out at 1 a.m. Yo, I remember Canelo Kovalev that started like at 2 a.m. almost. It felt like. What other fight? There was a Berlanga. Yo, for the Shakur Stevenson Conceição fight in Newark. Yo, it takes me a half hour to 45 minutes to get home. Yo, I got home like at 2 a.m. from out there. You know what I'm saying? Like it was ridiculous. The boxing the way it's going, I feel like the system is broken and it needs to be repaired in a lot of places. And a lot of little places that you can fix can make it go a long way. Believe me. Yeah, yeah. Look, Randy says, look at the UFC. There's a lot of quiet fighters that are big stars. Also, what's his name? Khabib. He's from Dagestan. So people like to say, yo, Dominicans don't sell, right? Okay, well, like, do Dagestanians sell? Like, I don't know. Like, you got to get creative. Find a way to get these promoters. Like, I feel like, you know who they did a good job promoting? Triple G. Triple G is from Kazakhstan. No fighter before or since from Kazakhstan was a draw. And they promoted him good. You got to give credit to HBO and Tom Loeffler. You got to give credit to those guys. They did a really good job promoting him, got him 2 Canelo fights. He fought Daniel Jacobs. Like, and he did good numbers out in the Garden when he would fight here in New York. I think Triple G did a really, really good job selling tickets and if I'm not mistaken, he did over 1 million pay-per-views both times against Canelo. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think he did over 1 million. And you could say, oh yeah, that's because he fought Canelo. Well, Canelo hasn't done 1 million, I don't think, since. He did 800,000 with Plant. I don't think he's done 1 million pay-per-views since. So we got to give Triple G some of his credit as well. But yeah, that's how I see it, to be honest with you. That's how I see it. People need to get creative. People need to look into their business and go, all right, how can we get more pay-per-view stars? The more the merrier. Or even not even pay-per-view stars. How can we get more guys who sell tickets? A guy who can sell 8,000, 9,000 tickets at a given location. You know what I'm saying? If some guy is Dominican, all right, we know this in New York. How do we tap into that Dominican market? Because this guy Elvis is good. This guy De Los Santos is good. And this guy Carlos Adames is good. We could if we tap into that, we tapping into a big market in a big city. You get what I'm saying? Or, I'm trying to think of somebody else. That's not Dominican. Whatever. Point is like we got to get a little bit more creative. And the fights have to be in more locations than just New York, Texas, Vegas, and California. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all gonna say, hey, but they do fights in Minnesota, but it's like, all right, put the right fights in Minnesota, man. Don't put, Ponce Matias, a Puerto Rican versus an Argentinian, and a Dominican on the card fighting another Puerto Rican, and you throw it over there. Yo, that fight, you could put it in PA, in Pennsylvania, or something like that. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans in Pennsylvania. Or New Jersey, like I mentioned, Atlantic City, the Prudential Center. But, I guess maybe there's more stuff in the background that I don't see, and I'm willing to concede that, but I'll be honest with you. I think investing in the New York market, in the tri-state area, is more big business. There's more big business to be had here, and finding how to tap into a different market in this city could only be good for your company. No news on De Los Santos or Puello. It's the same thing. I keep getting the same answer every time I talk to people from their camp. Rumors that Rolly versus Puello, who knows when that fight will be, and rumors that De Los Santos will be fighting on the Plant Benavidez card, and they have not announced an opponent. So, and Plant Benavidez is on March 25th. Yes, March 25th at the MGM Grand. If De Los Santos fights out there, I might have to be there live, cover that event. You know what I'm saying? Bring some great content for you guys. Record the victory post fight. Go. Maybe bring some videos of us celebrating in Vegas after the big win. Something like that. Something light. We'll see. Yeah. Nah, yeah, I agree. The only thing that worries me about Puello and Rolly, by the way, it says Puello's going to school, Rolly. The only thing that worries me about Puello and Rolly is Puello might get robbed. Who knows? They robbed Jackson Marinas over over Rolly. VV, what's going on, my brother?
Good evening. Good evening. I'm glad to be back. I came and I heard you mention Alberto Puello. If he fights Rolly, man, I'm excited. Alberto Puello got a bright future.
Yeah, that's the rumor I've been hearing. At first, I was hearing Gary Antoine Russell, and then last minute, uh, I started hearing Rolly. I started calling back the people that told me Gary Antoine Russell, and they saying, "Hey, it's looking like it's gonna be Rolly," and I'm like, "That's interesting." Then I looked at the rankings, and all of a sudden, I believe he's ranked like number six or seven. And I'm like, okay, coming off a knockout loss at 135, you move up. You ranked in the top 10. That seems interesting. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I saw him pop up in the WBA rankings recently, and I was like, okay, like it was a little odd to me. So I was like, okay, he's probably gonna fight Russell or Puello, and I'm surprised that Puello is not being forced to fight Ismael Barroso, and he does get the opportunity to fight Rolly. But I think Rolly's a good fight for him because Rolly has that kind of star power that he has the notoriety. He fought Tank, so it'll elevate his profile when he puts on a show.
Yeah. Rolly's ranked number 7. Yeah. But yeah, Ismael Barroso is Alberto Puello's mandatory. But for whatever reason, he seems very lax in accepting, like, enforcing his mandatory. He's like, all right. When there were rumors that Puello was gonna fight Russell, he was like, oh yeah, he's fine with that. I guess he's just cool with just fighting, getting step aside. I mean, he has no chance against Puello. He's like 39 or something. How old is he? At least he looks that old. I don't know how old he is, and he's not as good as you know as his ranking in the in the WBA is. He's 39 years old, and he looks every bit of it. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's very old. He's had a pretty high position in the WBA since he beat Yves Ulysse, and that was at the end of 2019. And I don't know if he's fought since then, so I don't even know if that ranking is valid just based off the inactivity.
He fought on the same day as Puello, on like deep on the undercard on
Oh, that's right.
yeah. I was there live to cover the event. I was like, oh, he was there. He got a stoppage. He stopped Fernando Salcedo.
Yeah, I remember. I just remember that because when the Broner fight fell through, I was like, okay, well, it just makes sense. Like you put him in there with Lipinets, but they made or not Lipinets, Figueroa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they chose Lipinets. I guess that's a more recognizable name. I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
plus it's a good win to kind of bounce either Lipinets or Figueroa up if you want to. Because I think they want to put Lipinets in there with Russell. So
yeah. Really, that something you heard, or that's just something you predicted?
I've heard a few people mention that. I don't know if it's set in stone. I kind of do hope it happens. Though. I think it's a really good fight, especially for Russell. I think Russell needs that. I mean, because he didn't look that impressive to me against Barthélemy. He still needs a few more developmental fights, in my opinion.
I agree. If he were to fight Lipinets, right? So Gary Antoine Russell's ranked number 3 in the WBC, and Lipinets ranked number 5. So that definitely seems like a fight that'll take him to the number 1 spot if he were to beat Lipinets. Lipinets has that WBC silver, so that'll definitely move him up. Sandor is coming off a loss. He's ranked number 2, and Teofimo is ranked number 1. Based off what, I don't know, but so yeah, no, that's a fight I could definitely see. That's a fight I could definitely see. I honestly, I really, really want to see Elvis versus Gary Antoine Russell. That's a fight I really want to see. I think it's an explosive fight. Two offensive fighters, two knockout artists. I don't think there's a loser in that fight. In terms of the fans don't. The fans win. That's what I meant. I think the fans win. I don't think anybody loses. The fans just win if that fight ever happens. And yeah, and Gary Antoine Russell is ranked in all of the sanctioning bodies with the exception of the WBO. So that's also enticing for Elvis. Hey, you beat this guy, you automatically going to be ranked in 3 of the sanctioning bodies.
Yeah, no, I think I wish Elvis was a little bit more active, especially since signing with PBC, so he could kind of build himself up and get up in the rankings to make that fight more enticing for Russell. But I think that's a good matchup. I think it'd be kind of similar to the Martin and Rivera fight. It was like a crossroads fight between two highly touted prospects. I think I like that fight.
Yeah, me too, me too. And then again, that's a fight that there's no way is not a war. There's no way that somebody's not leaving cut. Honestly, I don't think that fight goes 12 or 10, whatever rounds they agree on. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight. Yeah, man. What do you make of this fight this weekend? Yard versus Beterbiev. These are two big punchers, but I find it hard to pick against Beterbiev. But I have seen people on Twitter, I'm not sure if you're one of them, that are picking Yard. What's your opinion on it?
I mean, I've seen two people pick Yard, and I think one of them is like Yard. I think both of them are Yard fans. Frankly, I don't think Yard has much of a chance. I don't rate Yard very highly, especially in that Kovalev fight where he was getting battered by a drunk Kovalev. Um, uh, and just like most of his advantage will be like his physical strength, where he's going to be in Beterbiev's wheelhouse to get knocked out. I don't think he's as quick on the trigger as Beterbiev either. He might be faster, like in terms of hand speed. But I don't think he's like his reactions are faster than Beterbiev. I don't think he's like quicker to punch than Beterbiev. It's like everything just leads to Beterbiev knockout within 6 rounds. Frankly, like I'm not giving Yard any chance.
Yeah, I mean, I give him a puncher's chance. He's a big puncher. He's a big puncher, but and Beterbiev does get hit, but I give him a puncher's chance. But as far as that, I don't see him winning. I don't see him winning past clipping Beterbiev and pouncing on him and getting a knockout. But I'm that's not what I'm predicting. I'm predicting the 6th, 7th round knockout. I'm in the same line as you. I just think Beterbiev just wears people down. Like he goes and he just throws punches and bunches, and every punch is big, every punch hurts. And now on top of that, he's a big guy. Like he is big for the division. Like I can see him eventually fighting that cruiserweight. So keeping a guy off of you who hits that hard is very, very difficult. So I definitely see him winning by stoppage. But I wanted to see if you were one of the guys that were going out on the limb and picking Yard.
Yeah, no, I don't give Yard much of a chance, especially because, on top of, I just don't think he's as good. Like, he does not have the fight IQ to deal with Beterbiev's inside game. Because Beterbiev is one of those guys that people think of him like a mauler, and he is a mauler, but he's a very calculated mauler. He's, is a cerebral assassin in some ways. Like, every single one of his punches count. Like, if he misses a punch, he will use that to, manipulate your head, break your guard, whatever. Like, he's not just throwing punches to throw them. And I think he's just going to overwhelm Yard, mentally and physically.
Yeah, I agree. I think he breaks him down with that mauling type style. And like you said, a lot of it may look uncoordinated or sloppy to you, or not. And then I'm saying the proverbial, not you. It may look like that to you, but this dude has a very extensive amateur career and has 3 belts in the professionals. I think he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He has a very good resume, from Joe Smith to Marcus Brown to Vosdick. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on. But yeah, no, he's a good fighter, and Yard isn't better than some of the names I just mentioned. So I'm predicting that Beterbiev does knock him out, but he is 38 years old. He has gotten a lot of injuries. He has been a bit inactive. So those are a lot of things to look out after, but I still pick Beterbiev.
Yeah, I think with Beterbiev being 38, another injury, I believe it was a foot injury. He's getting at some point you do expect him to he gets old over.
Oh, I don't know. Yo, Vivi, you there? Yo, Vivi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was saying he's 38. He's getting up there in age. He trains crazy, doing those twirling the fucking bar and all the stuff. So you do expect him to eventually quote unquote age overnight. But Beterbiev is not one of those guys drinking crazy, going partying. He lives the life. He's very dedicated to the sport. So like unless like all of these injuries have caught up, I don't expect that to happen
I mean,
against
he may be overworking himself. I don't know. I don't know if he overworking himself. That may be the case, because those workouts are intense and and they're very difficult to do. And maybe you could do that when you're 27, 28, but when you're 38, your back might go out, and who knows, you may need to work smarter, not harder. And I'm not saying that's the case, but he has been getting a lot of injuries, and I'm not going to discount his crazy workout regimen as part of it. Yeah. I just want to respond to a comment real quick. It says, "What's up, Joel? This ain't boxing related, but you got to go to that chimney spot on Myrtle Ave. I've actually been to that chimney spot on Myrtle Ave before. The one under the train. I know exactly where it's at. It's called Rico Chimi. I know exactly what you're talking about. Or you talk about Chimi Loco. One of the two. Is Chimi? No, I think Chimi Loco is on Whitecroft, but I've been to both of them. So, Vivi, when you going out to a fight, man? I never hear you about you going to a fight, man. What's up with you, man? You don't like going to fights live? You're gonna be there February 25th to go see Elvis, your boy?
I'm chilling, but
You breaking up, brother. You got that cricket signal, man.
you're funny. Are we good?
Yeah, we good now. We good.
Okay, yeah, no. Especially not no fucking Minnesota. Listen, it's cold enough here. I'm not going to fucking Minnesota.
Wait a minute. I'm just trying to geographically think where the fuck you from. Like that's the closest place where they throw fights.
Yeah, I know, but listen, man, I don't know about that. Minnesota, I don't know.
When will you go to a fight, Vivi? I need to meet you in person. When will you go to a fight?
I don't know. Like, I think it has to be intriguing enough, and then like obviously like enough people would have to go for me to be like, oh, okay, like that's interesting. I think that's like really what matters. Like, if enough people go, it's like if I'm just there alone, like I don't
know. No, of course not. Plant Benavides don't entice you. I mean, you know what? Vegas is expensive, and you're kind of young, so never mind.
Yeah, and I live a straight edge lifestyle. No drinking, no smoking, no partying. I'm a very law abiding citizen.
All right, man. Don't go to the fights then, man. Don't go to the fights. That's the whole point. No, I'm joking.
I am still only 19 anyway, so can't drink.
Yeah, I forgot you young. God damn, bro. Nah, but yeah. Hey, man. I want you to get that experience. You ever been to a fight or not?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you got to go, man. It's a dope experience, especially if like you said, like there's a bunch of people going that and stuff like that. It is dope, man. People from Twitter, we all link up, we talk, we take pictures, we make moves and shit like that. And and honestly, when you go to a boxing event, you always meet somebody. You always meet. When I was at the Rivera Martin fight, and Rolly was there, Caleb Plant, David Morrell, Brian Mendoza, Floyd Sr., Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mares, all just walking around in the arena. I didn't take a picture with none of them, but I could have took a picture with every person I just mentioned. Every single one. And they were there taking pictures with everybody. Oh, you know who else was there? You won't believe who was there. Broadway Joel was there, man, looking sharp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. I was looking sharp. I got the exclusive interview with Michelle Rivera that not even Showtime got. You know what I'm saying? I was there live and direct. You seen that interview?
Oh yeah, the interview after the fight. Yeah, no, that did numbers. I watched that when it came out. I was one of the first viewers.
Yeah, man. That fight really got my numbers up, man. I wasn't anticipating it going crazy like that, but it definitely did. And I was my phone was just blowing up with notifications after that. It was like that for like a week. It was like, whoa. I was like, I was not expecting it to go crazy like that.
And then you got the Showtime All Access, Hector Garcia with the Dominican boxing shirt. So, they recognizing your work.
Yeah. I Hector Garcia, he came out to the Tank fight in my shirt. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I saw people tweeting about it. I didn't see the ring walk because I was in the space talking to people during the fight. But I saw people talking about it. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he came out in my shirt, and then you saw me on Showtime giving him the award and all that. Yeah, I'm making moves, man. I'm definitely making my market in this boxing game, and I'm just getting started. That's the exciting part. That's the exciting part. Yo, listen to this comment. Your boy says Shakur is scared of De Los Santos.
I saw that comment and I chose to ignore it.
I,
Let the people believe what they want. Listen, Shakur should have never even mentioned him because now Edwin got the one up on him.
yeah, Edwin definitely gets under his skin 100%. I don't know why, what it is. He definitely gets under his skin. So
it reminds me of a bit of Archie Sharp. Like Archie Sharp was doing like the same thing. We'd like go on YouTube and like just talk about Shakur every single interview. And I think like Rob Tevitt was saying like he would like DM Shakur those days like, "What do you think about Archie Sharp?" And he'd like always retweet him like talking about it.
Edwin has stopped with the trolling. I wish he didn't. I was very much enjoying that on Instagram. Every day he was posting about Shakur and commenting on Shakur Stevenson's pictures and stuff like that. I was very much enjoying it. I wish he didn't stop.
He should continue.
Wait, hold on. Delo Mio with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. I don't get much. So when I get a super chat, I get excited. So thank you so much. Delo Mio, keep it up, is what he says. My man Lefty from Chicken Talk says, how you got Haney versus Loma going? Honestly, I got Haney winning the first 7-8 rounds and losing like the last 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? I that's the way I see it. I think he pulls it off. I think he dominates those first 8 to 9 rounds. I think he clearly dominates, but he has shown to fade a little bit. He has shown that that what's his name? Like Loma that has shown that he speeds up towards the end of fights. He didn't only do that in the T.O. fight. He also did that in the Jermaine Ortiz fight. And so I pictured Haney winning a clear decision where he dominates the earlier rounds, does enough, but then starts losing the later rounds as he starts to fade. And I just think that jab and foot speed at this age of where Loma is he's not going to be able to handle that from Haney. Also, Haney is much bigger than Loma. Yo, Loma was like, "Oh, you heavyweight or you lightweight? What's wrong here?" Like he was commenting on his weight. And also, I spoke to somebody when I was in Vegas, when I was out there. When I met when I gave Garcia the trophy, I was speaking to somebody who I won't mention. They were telling me like, "Yo, Haney's huge." Like for a lightweight, they're like, "No, he's really big." They're like, "I don't know how he makes the weight." So he is a big guy. So he's going to be the naturally bigger guy, the younger guy, the fresher guy. And I want to say he's more active too. So I think I got Haney winning by decision and pretty clearly too. I do.
I think stylistically this fight troubles Haney. I think, especially with like the southpaw and Lomachenko's like usage of angles. But I mean, he just can't match Haney athletically, especially at his old age. And Haney's just so big. And with Lomachenko downloading the data, quote unquote, I think Haney will get a big enough lead early to where Lomachenko just can't catch up.
Nah, yeah. I agree. I think if Loma was younger, I would have picked Loma. I would have picked if Loma was whatever, let's say 4 or 5 years younger, I would have picked Loma, but he's not 4 or 5 years younger. We're talking in the current, and so I gotta go with Haney, man. I'm picking Haney.
Does Haney's weight concern you?
It does. It does, only because I've heard it like, you know how people in the space, we all talking like, damn, Haney's big. But that's one thing for me and you to be talking about. We don't know what he's doing, how he looks. At least I'll speak for myself. I've never seen him in person. But when there's people in the boxing that have seen him spar, been around him 100 times, tell me that he's huge and they don't know how he makes the weight, that lets me know that it is something to be concerned about. Also, I know somebody, I'm not going to mention his name, who's stopped sparring with him. They were like, "Yo, like I not that he was scared or nothing. He's like, yo, I'm a lightweight. This dude is a lightweight, but he's not weighing what a lightweight should weigh." So let's say he was walking around, let's say at 147. Haney's walking around at 159 or something like that. I'm making that number up. That's not a number he told me, but I'm just saying, he's like, I'm sparring this huge guy consistently. He goes, I had to stop sparring with him because he was too big for me. So I have heard that, and no, it's not Hector Garcia. So please don't think that that's who I was talking about.
Yeah, no, it concerns me. Like I saw both of the Cambosos weigh-ins, and the second one really concerned me. Like you could, like his skull, like his face looked so dry, like his eyeballs were nearly popping out. Like I, I don't even want to see him fight Lomachenko. To be honest, like I don't want to see him have to make that weight cut again. He's 24 years old. He's only growing. He's a huge kid. I'm not interested in this fight. I hope Haney can, make the weight, especially with it being around Ramadan. That might be rough for him. I don't know.
I mean, the fact that Loma's not that big of a puncher, it eases my mind a little bit as far as my concerns of what Haney becomes, how Haney will perform. Because a lot of times when you're making that weight cut, you really can't take punches. But Loma's not a huge puncher. I'm not saying he's feather fisted. Believe me, I'm not saying that. But he's not like this big knockout artist, so I don't see that. But by the way, Lefty says he ain't scared of De Los Santos. De Los Santos ain't Mexican, which is what I was explaining to Ron Boy earlier. I listen. I never thought he was scared of him. I just think it's funny how De Los Santos managed to get under Shakur's skin. I just found that funny. So the fact that I found it funny and they don't have a fight lined up and people were turning down Shakur, what I was saying on Twitter was like, yo, everybody's turning him down. Zepeda, Cruz, Cambosos. De Los Santos is ranked in the WBC and he's funny. Like he's genuinely funny on Instagram. He's going to do a good job promoting. If you guys don't have a fight under the contract and he's already trolling you and already getting under your skin, imagine if y'all did have a fight. Imagine how funny the press conference is going to be. I could picture Edwin De Los Santos cursing him out in Spanish on some Ricardo Mayorga shit. Like, at least that Shakur Stevenson went live and Edwin De Los Santos started cursing him out in Spanish. Is like, I like how the interaction was going. I can see how the fight could have got blown up. That's why I was pushing for that fight. And I understand what Lefty is saying is that De Los Santos not Mexican, so he doesn't bring that huge fan base. But Shakur is from the East Coast. He's from Newark, New Jersey. That fight could happen either there or in Madison Square Garden. And De Los Santos will bring fans now that the dynamic has changed with me. You know what I'm saying? When a Dominican fighter fights in New York, I will make sure that Dominicans are aware. I will bring a lot of people, just me. Again, I'm guaranteeing about 200 to 300 people to come just off me. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. Listen, I never said that Shakur was ducking. Again, if somebody is trolling and it's funny and it's working, that it's getting under the person's skin, and to the point where Shakur Stevenson has mentioned De Los Santos' name on multiple interviews. It lets you know that the dynamic of the press conference and how the shit was going, it would have went well. It really would have went well. What's your opinion on the trolling? Have you seen the trolling on Instagram? I don't know if he still has it on, but have you seen him? What was your thoughts on him if you have?
I saw the live when Shakur was live and Edwin was like chirping in the comments and he was like, Edwin De La, whatever your name is, you don't want to fight me. And Edwin just, talking his shit. And then I saw like under the replies, like and posts like in the coming days, he was like under there like talking shit. I was like, listen, like I get Shakur was like going down the WBC rankings and Pitbull turned him down, Cambosos turned him down, Zepeda turned him down. I kind of wish we got down to De Los Santos, kind of wish we got there because I think not only like Edwin De Los Santos talking shit, but he's a huge puncher. Shakur's fought Valdez, Nakatila, other huge punchers, but they never got that opportunity to land. Who says Edwin De Los Santos does, especially a real lightweight? So, that's an interesting matchup. I hope, eventually, if Edwin De Los Santos keeps winning, if he beats Pitbull, I think he will, then maybe we can get that matchup.
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, De Los Santos will get it. He'll get the fights. He'll get the fights that he wants as long as he keeps winning. He just has to keep winning, and I'm very confident he will. He's very, very talented. In that William Foster fight, he did gas out. So I do worry about his gas tank, but I'm not going to judge him off one fight. Maybe he learned his lesson because his next two fights after that, he ended in a second round knockout, then a third round knockout. So it's like he's been blasting dudes away since then. So I'm not gonna be, too hard on him off that one loss. But as far as his talent and skill set, I'm high on it, and I would love, love, love to see it. Love to see it.
You know
Yeah.
what? I think the other thing is like people look at his loss to William Foster and go, "Oh, well, he already has a loss." Like these people haven't seen William Foster fight. He's a very talented fighter. He just hasn't really had the opportunity to prove it. I think beating a caliber fighter like Edwin De Los Santos as early as he did, goes to show that he once he gets the opportunity to break through. I think he's highly rated in one of the sanctioned bodies at 130. People like realize like that's not an embarrassing loss. William Foster's a damn good fighter. He's the dark horse at 130, in my opinion.
No, and that's and similar to that, that's what I tell people about Kenneth Sims. I'm like, yo, Kenneth Sims can fight, man. This dude is nasty. He's good, but nobody wants to fight him. Everybody keeps telling me that Elvis is ducking Kenneth Sims, which is a ridiculous statement. Like, oh, why he don't want the rematch? It's like, well, obviously you're not subscribed to Broadway Joel's channel, because Kenneth Sims says that's not a fight he's interested in, because he beat him once and he didn't really get much rub off of him. So he goes, me beating him twice, why would I do that? And I get it. That's not a duck. That's just basic, like, fucking business, that he did the math in his head and it doesn't work out. Cool. But Kenneth Sims is a good fighter, man. Trust me, he's a good fighter, and he will prove himself that loss, that Elvis losing to him wasn't a fluke. And by the way, Elvis is gonna make a statement with this Adorno win too. I'm calling it. Elvis is gonna beat the shit out of this guy. He's gonna make him quit. He's gonna knock him out. He's gonna do something spectacular come February 25th. And I'm all for it. I already applied. Listen, I applied for a media pass in Minnesota in February. I'm gonna be out there freezing my plátano off, fucking out there, just to cover this event, because that's how important I think Elvis is to Dominican boxing, to be honest with you. And if it was another Dominican, I may have not done it. But the fact that it's Elvis and I don't think he's getting promoted the way he is, I'm gonna make the sacrifice of going to the iceberg that fucking knocked down the Titanic to go watch his fight and cover it.
Yeah, that's funny, but I think it's worth it. Especially with being the voice of Dominican boxing. Elvis Rodriguez is the future. He's young. He's a good talker. He looks good. He fights good. You know what I mean? So and he already got that star power. I guess like 100K on Instagram. So it's worth it. He's the future, and if he can somehow be the star of the show on the undercard of Subriel Matias and Jeremias Ponce, which is like a guaranteed war, then that's a big statement.
Yo, you brought that war up. You brought that fight up, man. Man, I'm so excited for that fight. That fight might be fight of the year. I was on the space earlier with Ron Boy. Ron Boy was saying how, basically, he's a Matias guy. Basically, Matias about to cook this guy. And I'm like, bro, this is not an easy fight, man. I'm not saying that Matias doesn't win. I'm still flip-flopping as to who I'm picking to win, but this is an exciting fight, and this is the fight that's gonna show the fan who's not so hip to 140 that this is the deepest division in boxing, because people are gonna be like, who the fuck is Ponce? I never seen this guy fight. And they're gonna see the performance he put in against Matias, whether he wins or lose, and they're gonna be like, whoa, this guy's good. There's a lot of guys at 140 that you've never seen that are killers. Ergashev and Ponce. And you go down the list, there's killers at 140, all down the line, from all over the world, too. You got Elvis, you got Gary Antoine Russell, you got, Akhmadov, Puello. You go down the top 20 of the 140, and there's killers everywhere. Taylor, Sandor Martin and Josh, Regis Prograis. Is like killers at 140, and this is the first fight that we're gonna show people, like, listen, 140 is bananas stupid crazy, and that's gonna be the first fight to show us that. And Elvis is gonna also show us that in a dominant performance. I feel like he's gonna lose the first 2-3 rounds because Elvis is a little bit of a slow starter, and he's gonna start opening up around that fourth round and get him out of there like around the 6 or 7, just bang 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 bang, just that right hook to uppercut combination is just nasty. He's very aesthetically pleasing to watch his style, man. The way he throws his combinations, the way he mixes it up upstairs and downstairs. I I really like. The only thing is, I do wish that he used his jab a little bit more, and I wish his defense wasn't so high guard reliant. I wish he had a little bit more more wiggle to him. But that's me nitpicking because he's knocking motherfuckers out. So you know what I'm saying? That's just me nitpicking. But yeah, that's the only thing I didn't want to say criticism. That's the only thing I want him to improve on. But 140 stack and that card February 25th is gonna show us that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those divisions. I think, 154 gives us some great fights. 115, 126, they're loaded with talent. 140 has consistently gave us, one through whoever with the best fights in boxing, best high level fights, and they're continuing to do that. And Matias and Ponce is just another level of that. I do Broadway Joel exclusive. I made my pick like a week ago. I do think Jeremias Ponce is gonna, get that knockout. Big win, cement himself. But there are so many people that have like never seen him or only saw him fight Lewis Ritson, didn't see his fight with like Rico Muller. There is like, and he's not even in the top 10 for most people. Like, that's how stacked that division is.
No, I listen. I agree with you. I agree. And people are gonna be in for a surprise, whether he wins or lose. Because I'm not saying Matias is gonna lose, because this is a competitive fight, and I've never ever said that this wasn't. Listen, I picked Ponce to win. I may flip flop because again, this is a 50-50 fight. But at no point am I gonna be surprised if Matias wins. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. Listen, don't come back on my channel. Oh, yeah, I told you were wrong. No, I'm willingly admitting that anybody could win this one. This is going to be a nasty war. My man Chicken Talk, my man Lefty says, who you want to see next for Elvis? So obviously he has the fight with Adorno. I do want him to have a big performance, like a boom, oh shit, that was a nasty knockout. Or wow, he really beat the shit out of him, made him quit in his corner, or something like that. I want him to make a statement. So that going forward, that's the first thing I want him to do. Now you telling me he has a performance like that? Who I want to see him against next? I want to see him against. I'll give you 3 names. I want to see him either Gary Antoine Russell, big puncher, Gary Antoine Russell, 100% knockout ratio, offensive fighter. Same thing with Elvis, offensive fighter, big puncher. That's a fight of the year type candidate fight. Subriel Matias, that's probably my number 1 pick. The winner of Subriel Matias versus Ponce, that's who I want to see him win with, because that'll be for a title. But let's say he can't get that fight, I'm okay with him getting the Gary Antoine Russell fight, or a Batir Akhmadov, somebody who fought Alberto Puello, super offensive fighter, great body puncher, and very, very active, throws a lot of punches. I would love to see that fight. That's another fight that all those 3 fights that I mentioned have a potential of being fight of the year type. You know what I'm saying? And somebody's going to sleep. Now, that fight is not going 12. None of those 3 fights I mentioned is not going 12. And they're all 3 50-50 fights. All 3 of them. I listen. So if you asking me who I want to see, those are the 3 I would want to see.
Yeah, Akhmadov sounds about right. I was like going down the list thinking about like who would be the one, and the first thing that came to mind is like the winner of Yves Release against Javier Molina. But I think if Elvis puts on a show against Adorno, he might be a little bit above that level. Might be ready for someone like a Batir Akhmadov, which would be a great fight for him.
No, and Akhmadov is ranked number 3 in the WBA, so that's a big win. If he were to pull it off, that would be a big win.
I mean, he also still has not lost conclusively. Like, a lot of people still thought, he beat Puello, he beat Barrio. So if Elvis goes in there and does his thing, that's a huge win. That's a huge statement.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hold on. I don't know who Adames is fighting next. I heard it was gonna be Fedor Shirkasian, but then I heard it wasn't. So I'm gonna stop reporting from that source. I don't know who he's fighting next, but the name I heard was Fedor Shirkasian, the Polish middleweight. Who do you think will be next? Oh, he's asking the same thing. For Adames, I don't know. Maybe it's Fedor Shirkasian, maybe it's Selecki. Who else is at middleweight? Besides, I would love for it to be Charlo, but everybody in the chat knows that fight's not happening.
What you got against Poles? You said Circassian, then you said Sulecki. You just want to beat
I'm
up
trying
on
to
some
get him
Polish.
paid. I'm trying to get him paid, man.
I mean, to be fair, I really, really love the Fyodor Circassian fight. If that fight doesn't happen, I like the Sulecki fight. I know Sulecki came out a few days ago and said, the Charlo fight was never rescheduled after Charlo pulled out. So that's an option. I like that fight as well. It's a good fight.
Yeah. Oh, how about Liam Smith?
Liam Smith's a good fight too. I would like Carlos Adames to get back a little bit sooner than that. And I don't know if Liam Smith's gonna be looking at that fight because Adames will be high risk, low reward for him. Like when he has like a payday like a Golovkin or like fighting Janabek in his hometown or something like that. I wouldn't be too eager to fight Adames.
What about Denzel Bentley? To make a statement like, yo, Janabek went to decision, and when I knocked this motherfucker out.
I mean, I guess there's that. Like, I feel like Adames does deserve a little bit better than Denzel Bentley, though. I think.
But the thing is, the middleweight division sucks.
That's true.
I'm looking at it. This shit is trash. I would say Jaime Munguia, but I'm not. Listen, I'm not gonna do it. Don't bring it up, Vivi. Let it go. Let it go.
No, I gave up on him.
Yeah, so that honestly, that's the fight that makes the most sense. Now, if you're asking me for Adames, who does it make sense? That's who it makes sense. Hold on, let me look at the rankings because I was looking at BoxRec. I want to look at.
I think Munguia is number 1 with the WBC.
Yeah, Munguia is number 1. Carlos Adames is the WBC interim. You strip Charlo or make him champion in recess and have Adames fight for the vacant belt against Munguia. That's what makes sense.
I love Munguia. He's an entertaining fighter. I don't feel like he's at fault for a lot of these issues, but like it's so disappointing. Like to deal with like the Andre fights on the table. The Andre fight doesn't happen. Janabek doesn't happen. Adames doesn't happen. Charlo doesn't happen. It's like it's hard to like keep supporting this when like none of these fights are happening and it's all on his side. And I don't think it's him at fault. I think, Oscar himself said, Munguia is not the one turning his down. We don't feel like he's ready. It's like he was a world champion at age 20, 2 weeks notice against Saddam Ali. 2 months later, fights Liam Smith. 2 great performances. And he's gotten much better under Eric Morales since then. Like, when will he be ready? He's 24.
He's 26. He's not a baby. He's 26 years old.
Yeah, that's a grown. Like, at some point, like, Munguia is a star. So I get, like, like we want to protect this bag, but at some point you got to take a risk, especially with a fighter like Munguia. He's a very high quality fighter. Like you put him in there with Adames, or put him in there with Charlo, he could win that fight. And then what does that do with his profile? But y'all are holding him back, fighting fucking Correa and Jimmy Kelly.
No, I'm with you. Last name I'll throw out for Adames. I doubt this fight will happen, but he's ranked number 3 in the WBC, so that's the only reason why I'm mentioning him. Is Ryota Murata.
No, okay. Like if we just like completely like remove politics and like I think Murata's retired, that would be the perfect fight for Adames. I love that fight.
Yeah, you see, Shane Mosley Jr. is ranked in the WBC.
Yeah, he's about to fight Munguia.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think what's his name? Erislandy Lara and Carlos Adames. I know like Lara's the WBC regular champion, either waiting for Golovkin. I think he's gonna fight Danny Garcia. I feel like anybody could put 2 and 2 together. Erislandy Lara, Carlos Adames.
Yeah, I would like that. Hold on 1 second. Jimmy, what's going on, bro?
Yo, salute, bro. What's good?
Yeah, you have nothing to say?
Nah, man, I just thought I'd jump on in it. You guys are talking boxing.
Yeah.
It's kind of an awkward spot right now. I don't know where to cut in, right? Talking about Adames and Lara, what the situation is. So.
Yeah, the thing is, we're trying to figure out who should Adames fight next. We're looking at the middleweight landscape. The shit is kind of trash, be honest with you.
Well, I mean, to be honest, if you asked me a week ago, I would have told you Chris Eubank Jr. if you beat Liam Smith. That was I think a title eliminator before in.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, VV had brought up and is valid. I ain't even think about it. Was all right. Now you could say, all right, well, Eubank lost, so why not fight Liam Smith? But Liam Smith just fought. Adames I'm pretty sure he's trying to fight sometime in March, April. I doubt Liam Smith will be ready by then.
Yeah, I mean, is there anyone out 54 that's not really active?
At 54 to move him up. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would. Yeah, and you know it's funny. Adames has told me he's willing to move down for the right opportunity. Yeah,
we don't need him to move down. Listen, I don't know whose ear you need to get into. The fight was rumored. Whoever that source is, I want them to be right, man. You need to tell Fedor Chikatian, man. That's such a beautiful fight. I need that fight.
I would love that fight. You know, Truth told me that he thinks if that fight happens, he thinks it's a fight of the year type candidate. I don't see it like that, but
yeah, can I just say something?
What's up?
Chicken talk. Yeah, chicken talk, bro. I fucked you up on that panel, so don't be coming out here capping.
Yo, hold on.
Lefty in the comments said he cooked him on some show.
Yeah.
Nah, I fucked him up. I put that little pussy in a body bag.
Nah, hold on. We're not gonna do that, bro. Chicken talk, that's my guy, bro. Please, you know, whatever y'all
He started it, man. He started it, man. I barely know who he is.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Chicken talk says Adames versus Kazakh style, meaning Janibek. Listen, I would love that fight, but you know damn well, what's his name? Bob Arum not gonna throw Janibek in with Adames. Adames will annihilate that guy,
and nor should he.
Why?
I don't know, bro.
Adames will pack him up. Adames will send him back to Kazakhstan in a body bag.
I doubt it, bro.
Yeah, nah.
Janibek is real life trash, man. Like no offense to him, but he is not a good fighter. He is so
Adames will beat the fuck out of him. He will do him dirty. He will like and
for me that's 50-50.
They don't want that. And honestly,
for me,
what's up?
No, I was gonna say that's a good fight. No, I was gonna say that's a good fight for me. I mean, I don't really see Adames as a world destroyer. I'd give Johnny Beck a great chance to win that fight, and vice versa. I mean, I don't really rate either of them too highly. I mean, I think they're both good fighters, but
the thing is, you saying you don't rate them highly, but when you look at the middleweight landscape, you have to rate them highly. The middleweight landscape is trash.
Yeah, I agree.
You get what I'm saying? You got to rate them or rate them that way. I got another name. You know who Adames could fight? Brian Mendoza. The guy who just knocked out Jason Rosario.
I like what you're thinking.
Yo, that's a fight. All right, you got that angle like, yo, get back for your Dominican or something like that. I like that fight. I met Brian Mendoza. Brian Mendoza told me he's willing to stay at 160 for the right opportunity. To me, a WBC interim fight against Adames is the right opportunity to stay at 160. I like that fight. That what? Besides Fedor Shakasian or Selecki, those two fights, I would love a Brian Mendoza fight. And Brian Mendoza got gift of the gab. He knows how to talk. He's a good talker.
Yeah, I still have a better fight. And it's all PBC as well. Jared Hurd, right? I mean, he's been at 160 for a while. He hasn't fought in a while. I mean, that's a good way to come back, right?
Nah, Jared Hurd, man, he will fucking destroy Jared Hurd. Jared Hurd is done. I don't think he's the same after that Laura fight. I don't think he's the same. And I like Jared Hurd. I just don't think, there's certain fights that just take something out of you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what happened with him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's
what it is. Jarrett Hurd is suffering from the Jason Wellborn curse. He fought him on I think it was the Fury Wilder card, and then he lost to J-Rock. Felix Cash fought him, and then Felix Cash got dropped twice by some Euro bum. It's the Jason Wellborn curse.
What about and this is me getting creative. What about Yoelvis Gomez?
Man, who did Yoelvis Gomez fought? Jorge Cota. That's who.
Cota, yeah, he beat Cota.
I was not impressed with him, man. I don't want to see Yoelvis Gomez get fed like that. He needs to develop something.
No, I listen. That's why I said I'm getting creative, because middleweight is trash, man. Like every time it comes around to me talking about the middleweight division and Carlos Adames, I get amazed how bad the division is. Damn, that shit is trash.
Yeah, there's not many options.
Ain't no money in Kazakhstan. Aaron probably will be happy he lost so he can cut him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know what? That may not be a bad idea, man. That may not be a bad idea because you never know if you beat Adamas, you know, you get a legitimate name under your belt, and if you lose, you're not going to be losing money on him. He main evented on in Las Vegas, and yo, there was like 1,000 people there. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. My man Al Simmons is asking, who do you want to see Michelle Rivera fighting next? I want Michelle Rivera at 140. He told me last time I spoke to him that he wants to stay at 135. I want him to see him at 140, man. He a big dude. I remember, and after the fight, we in the hotel room, me, his father, a couple other guys, and like he had took off his shirt. I'm like, yo, this dude is big as shit. I'm like, yo, how the fuck you make 135? So I don't know, but I'm gonna look at who's at 135 that he can fight.
I don't want to see him at 135 again.
Me neither.
I'm not even sure if I want to see him at 140. Like, he's just so big that he might have to skip 140 altogether. But if he can make 140 for a couple fights, I'd like to see him, go down a few levels, get some fights in, where he can like rebuild himself, get that confidence, and then we'll see him back in a big fight.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't mind him jumping up to 47 and just fighting a 4 or 5 lower level fights. I think he's a big dude. Like, again, meeting him in person and meeting Frank Martin in person, I saw the difference in size. I was like, whoa. I was like, I didn't realize he was that big. Yo, he was bigger than Kenneth Sims. Kenneth Sims fights at 140. I don't know, man. I don't know. I honestly, I need to know what weight class he's fighting at and how soon he wants to get back into top level for me to give you an answer who I want to see him fight next. But he's already in the gym. He went to DR, right? I was just speaking with his father. When was it? I think on Saturday. No. Earlier than that. On Monday. I was speaking with him on Monday. And yo, his father was sending me videos of him and Andy Cruz working out together, the Cuban gold medalist. Because Andy Cruz is living in the Dominican Republic right now. Showing me videos of him hitting the bag, working out, doing his thing, focused on getting a comeback. Like he's back in Miami. He's posting videos on Instagram, him running, him at the gym doing push-ups and punching the punching bag. So, man, I love Michelle Rivera, how dedicated he wants this. He really, really wants to be a world champion. Bad, man. None of the Dominicans, there's not a single one that wants it as bad as him. And I'm not saying he's the most talented out of them. I'm saying if you tell me who's working the hardest, who's grinding the hardest to be where they want to be, listen, I put all my chips on Michelle Rivera in terms of who's working the hardest, who's grinding the hardest. And there's no doubt in my mind that he's the hardest working one, and I at all. So I really, really like Michelle's work ethic, but I don't know if he's maybe that work ethic is a little bit too hard. Maybe he's overtraining himself. Maybe he needs to move up, like you said, 2 weight classes, or maybe just 1. I just don't know. What's up with his situation, man. As far as his weight class, he needs to figure that out.
I think once we figure out the weight and where he wants to campaign, he wants to campaign at 135. I don't think that's very realistic. But once that gets sorted out, I think you can kind of like path out a direction for him to go. Until then, it's just all question marks. Like, what does he want to do, and what does PBC want to do? How fast does he want to get back in the ring? Because they got a lot of dates lined up, and he can definitely get on maybe like an opener to a show or the YouTube card. So it all depends.
Yo, I'm looking at the lightweight. I'm on BoxRec. I'm looking at the lightweight, and it's so different from the middleweight division. Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh, these are a lot of good names. I'm down to top 20, and I'm still looking at good, decent names. And I'm like, with the middleweight division, that shit's a horror show. Man, the middleweight division is horrible. And it's a shame because it's one of the glamour divisions.
Yeah, as soon as Canelo left, I feel like the division died out a little bit. And the only reason why the 168 division got hot was because Canelo arrived and unified the belts. Before that, no one really gave a shit about that division.
I mean, some people like Benavidez and some people were high on Plant, but
I don't know, bro. I mean, a couple of years ago, Benavidez was, going life and death with guys like Ronald Graville and losing his belt on the scale.
no, but there's still people high on Benavidez now. Whether he had a tough time, and I don't make too much of one bad performance. That's just not my. I hate when people go, oh, he had one bad performance. This guy sucks. Now, because there's a lot of situations, a lot of background that we don't know. What's going on behind the cam. It's not like he's been consistently looking like how he looked against Ronald Graville, and we saw how he looked in the next time.
And plus, I would say, like, I've been pretty harsh on David Benavidez, but he was young at the time. He was like what 21 when he fought Gavril, and he got it back with a outstanding performance. So I don't hold it too much against him these days because it's been 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been, and he's developed so much.
Nah, yeah. Real shit. But yo, I'm about to end the live. I appreciate you, Jimmy, and VV for hopping on, man. Everybody watching this, please hit that link, like, and subscribe button if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate that. VV, you want to leave off with anything, man?
Well, I think, yeah. Today is Wednesday, so Cesar the Rain Man Francis is fighting on Pro Box tonight. He's a very talented prospect, Panamanian American. I think he's from Brooklyn. So
he is from Brooklyn. We used to train at the same gym.
Yeah, so this is a good promotion for you too. Listen, go check him out. He's a great fighter under the radar. Go watch him in action.
Yeah, I was a bit mad at him. Me and him, we had an interview scheduled. We agreed. We set everything up. I confirmed with him the day before. Then the day of, he left me. He left me hanging.
Maybe don't go watch your fight then. No, he ain't fighting tonight.
Yeah, he left me hanging. I'm live. I'm like, yeah, he's about to hop on. I'm texting him, yo, he's about to hop on. And then he just texted me, yo, I'm not gonna hop on. I'm like, I was live for like 40 minutes waiting for him. I was like, oh man, it happens though. Like, I just. Like, if you're going to cancel, like today, Bob Santos was supposed to hop on. If you're going to cancel on me with time. He canceled on me an hour before, which still a little bit close, but hey, whatever. I still gave me time to like plan. But Regis Progress canceled on me on Monday. I've had 2 cancellations in a row. My bad luck. Regis fucking canceled, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about that. But point is, things like that happen. But I prefer you cancel on me before I go live. Tell him the fans, yo, he's about to hop on this, that, and the third. Because it makes me look like it makes me look like crazy, like I'm unorganized, even though I'm not. And 2, there's clowns that be like, oh, he probably wasn't, he probably really didn't have an interview with Bob Santos lined up. He's just lying, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. As opposed to, as soon as I go live, the title doesn't say Bob Santos. Title says the Broadway show, and then and I'm explaining to you, oh yeah, the fight, I was gonna get him on, but this, that, and you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, cancellations happen. Sometimes, stuff pops up in everybody's life to where, you can't, you gotta, fix your schedule on the go. So, Bob Santos and Regis Progress, at least like telling you before you go live, like, that's very respectable. Like just leaving you hanging for however long is, like that just shows lack of that's so disrespectful to me.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat again. I see my man Chicken Talk and Jimmy. They going back and forth on it in the chat. Talk about cooking each other. How about listen? I'm gonna stay on for an extra 10 minutes. Both of y'all click that link and hop on, and I'm gonna let y'all cook. I'll be the referee. I'm not gonna insert my opinion. I'll correct facts. If you guys want me to look up something while you guys in the debating, I'm willing to do that. So please, Jimmy and Lefty, click that link. I just thrown it in the chat. Please do that.
You trying to capitalize on this fight, trying to get the numbers up.
Yeah, man. I see them go. I see them. Yo, bro, Lefty, you damn well you could be on my show anything. You know what? We're going to schedule it. I'm going to hit you up. We're going to schedule it. That way, we got it. All right, I got Jimmy. Jimmy hop back on, and I'm gonna keep the screen looking like this. Jimmy hopped on. Yo, Lefty from Chicken Talk, can you please click that link? Hop on.
I came
I
out
need
to
you.
teach my son a lesson. You know,
Okay.
I came back on to give my son another spanking.
Okay, Jimmy talking his shit. Lefty, hop on, man, please. I definitely want to hear you guys go back and forth. Again, anything you guys are debating that you think the other person is lying, I'll look up, I'll Google, I'll be the referee. I'm not gonna insert my opinion until the end, and I'll let you guys know who I'm siding with. You know, I got
You know
no
what it is?
dog.
Like,
What's
I've
up?
got a rough. I got a rough feeling I know who he is, right? I think he's an aerosexual, right? But I must have done him really dirty if he remembers me, right? Because I barely remember who he is, but I'm pretty sure he's an aerosexual I put in a body bag. I'm pretty sure I know who he is.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
Chicken talk, don't be a chicken shit, mate. Listen, chicken talk, don't be a fucking chicken shit. I get your bitch ass on the panel. Running your fucking mouth in the chat. Don't be looking like a pussy out here.
Oh damn, my man talking shit. But he says he can't hop on because his phone is
okay.
Is you?
I mean, look, man.
It's in
It
use.
is what it is, bro. I showed up in it. I showed up, and this pussy, he fucking bottled it. It's another
Shut
win for
down
me.
that
He
space
fucking
and
knows
say
me.
your phone died or
Shut
something.
down that space, left. That space been long and running long enough. Hold on, how long that? Is that the same space? Hold on, let me see if that's the same space.
But this is what you should do, man. Like, don't. This is what happens, bro. He thought he was fucking safe, bro. He thought I exited the building, right? I was gonna watch the rest of your show. I saw him, and I mean, he thought he was safe, bro. Oh, I'm about to jump on, teaching me a lesson. Bring it, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, hey, yo, Lefty, if you can end that space, hop on for 10 minutes. You can restart it. Restart another space in 10 minutes. Just I need 10 minutes of you and Jimmy going back and forth, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, and that space, man. You ain't been in there for hours, man.
You're not even there. They could start one themselves.
Nah, bro, he don't want
they
it,
start
bro.
with themselves.
He don't want it, bro. Trust me, he ain't about that life, right? He's a little pussy running his mouth. And when Daddy jumped on the panel, he fucking bitched it, fucking bottled it.
Okay.
This dude
Bottled
awake
it
at like
in the
1 a.m.
expression.
straight off Monster Energy, man. This is about to be crazy.
Nah, Lefty, let me know if you hopping on it. If not, then I'm gonna end the live. But I definitely want you to hop on. I don't want Jimmy to get his points off and his jokes off, and you not debate y'all point. What y'all were going back and forth about? The Crawford Spence situation?
Is this guy an heterosexual?
Woo! Let me grab another phone. Hold up. So
I mean, to be fair to him, like you keep calling him an Earl sexual, but if I remember correctly, like before the whole Bud and Earl stuff, like he was a bigger Crawford fan than a Spence fan.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know about his fandom as far as who he supported more, but I do think that Eurosexual shit is lame, man. A lot of times people get caught up in being a fan as opposed to just debating what
I think he was pocket watching, bro. I think that's why I cooked him. He was into like this weird shit about pocket watching and trying to defend Errol Spence kissing Yellow Beezy. Like, I think this is how I bodied him, bro. I think I remember him, man.
What does Earl kissing Yellow Beezy got to do with boxing?
No, that's what I'm saying, though. He was defending it. Like, he was, saying that was good promotion when Errol Spence was licking on Yellow Beezy. Working with him. That's what he said, man.
That's wild.
Yeah, Errol Spence. I mean, apparently this guy was saying that Errol Spence was, when he was eating the strawberries on a bed, laughing with his girl, and his bitch was calling him gay. I mean, he thought that was good promotion. I mean, look, man, we all got our opinions, bro. It's a free world. This guy's probably a fag as well, so
Hey, chill with that word on the channel, man. I don't want to get demonetized. I don't want to get my channel taken down. I don't want none of that. So please.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The only is that I am civil though, bro. But like the whole heterosexual thing, like when someone runs them out.
PG-13 broadcast.
Yes.
I can't remember the last time I swore on this broadcast. It's PG-13.
For sure, man. Joel sitting back drinking that Bustelo out of the Yankee cup, waiting for the Royal Rumble to begin. Hey, man, let me sip my tea. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for Lefty from Chicken Talk to hop on, man.
I can hear that clucking, bro. Chicken talk, cluck, cluck, cluck.
You think he's chicken? You think he's scared?
Oh
So
man,
you a Bud
man.
fan? Hold on, Jimmy. You a Bud fan?
Yeah, I'm a Terence Crawford fan.
Oh, okay, and that's why you know you be going
I'm
on,
pretty sure.
you be going on channels debating on his behalf.
No, bro. Look, at the end of the day, I don't really like. I don't have this ill will towards Errol Spence, but I
Hold
just keep
on,
it real.
hold on. I got Lefty from Chicken Talk on here and Jimmy from the UK. They are going to debate. So
First of all, let me just tell y'all, be sure to go to my channel at Chicken
Yes.
Talk and check out my new interview with Coach Calvin Ford and Coach Kenny from last night. I uploaded the whole interview and I uploaded some snippets. Matter of fact, that question from Ari that was on there, asking about are they gonna send fights to offers to other fighters. Also, tomorrow I'm gonna upload the clip what he had to say about Eddie Hearn saying Gervonta Davis wasn't a deep thinker. Also, I had to get on this dude panel. You know, I don't really be on no panels on YouTube, but you know, YouTube is full of misinformation. That's why you got guys like me, Broadway Joel, A-Side coming from Twitter to clean up YouTube and get y'all the real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys that be out here talking, they don't even talk to people. They be making these assumptions, and Jimmy is one of these guys. He just repeat what he heard. So he was telling a lot of falsehoods. So I had to jump on the panel and set him straight.
No, when you got body bagged and you're running your mouth in the chat, so what's good?
Bro, stop. Reggie even said, the only thing that you could say, I killed you on the Earl Spence Terence Crawford debate. The only thing you could say is Deontay Wilder said he turned down $10 million. That's the only thing you could say.
Oh, now I remember who you are. I remember you now. I did you dirty, didn't I?
Yeah. Now you remember because you
got
got cooked.
to chat crying about me.
You got barbecue chicken.
Did I victimize you? Did I victimize you?
Y'all see that channel? Y'all see that page up there?
You still crying? Chat.
Everybody go subscribe to Chicken Talk. He has a lot of good interviews, whether it be with Tank, Calvin Ford, Demetrius Andre, Stephen Fulton.
The best one is front and center right there too.
Yeah. So definitely go check out that. And now
with Gervonta threatening to whoop.
Wait, are you that dumb? Are you that same? You're that dumb motherfucker that told me that Errol Spence is a bigger star than Roy Jones.
I said Errol Spence does higher gates than Roy Jones during this time.
No, but I sent you on that, right? I put the receipts on the table. Well, when I put the receipts on the table.
No. Roy Jones did bigger pay-per-views. He did. No. It wasn't even you. It was the other dude, the other boxer dude. I can't remember.
But I mentioned John Ruiz. No. I mentioned the Ruiz pay-per-view long before Puro mentioned the 1.7 million he did with Mike Tyson.
You mentioned the Ruiz pay-per-view, which everybody knew that pay-per-view did more than what Earl's pay-per-views did.
Yeah. So what are we talking about?
Talking about Roy as a standalone.
So you agree with me? Okay, you agree with me. All right, great.
Okay,
the only pay-per-view.
Anyway, like I said, this dude was trying to say Earl Spence didn't want to fight with Terence Crawford.
Yeah, he didn't, man. He did not want to fight. No, he didn't.
Hold on, Jimmy. Why were there negotiations if he didn't want to fight? Was he just doing it for entertainment purposes? Why was he negotiating with Terence Crawford if he didn't want it?
But at the end of the day, bro, Errol Spence's team, I personally don't think they wanted the fight. I think Errol Spence is a guy that's in another, like in the words of DJ Khaled, another one when it comes to his fucking calf lips, right? Another one, right?
Okay, wait. That's not the question. Wait. Did Keith Thurman want to fight with? Did Terence Crawford want to fight with Keith Thurman?
Did Terence Crawford want to fight with Keith Thurman? We're talking about Spence and
No. Because this guy, this is what you said. This guy has a history of not.
You got history of dick riding my shadow.
Big fights, bro. Earl Spence has a history of being in all the big fights.
What big fights? What Mikey? 135 featherweight.
All the top
big
fights. Yeah, Mikey.
Sean Porter. That's a big fight. Keith Thurman's leftovers. Sean fucking Porter. D-level Porter is a fucking big fight. Are you having a laugh?
You see how you get emotional?
Who's got the fucking undercard fighter? Is that a big fight?
You see how you get emotional?
One at a time.
You see how you get emotional?
What big fights?
You see how you get emotional?
37 motherfucking years.
Jimmy. I'ma let Chicken Talk go first, and then right after that, you're gonna go. All right.
Okay. Now, BB, you remember when I interviewed Bo Mac back in what was that, April?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, and what did Bo Mac tell her? Earl Spence is going to take a fight around. Not Earl Spence. Terence Crawford is going to take a fight around June or July. Bo Mac said that, right?
He did say that, yeah.
Okay, so and prior to Earl Spence fighting Ugas, they had reached out to Terence Crawford's team and told him after this fight, we're going to negotiations. But if you're going to take a fight, we can still negotiate. They went into negotiations in April. You think they would go? They would waste their time from May all the way to September? You think they would waste their time and don't want to fight? Now tell me this. Now what if you know what? If Earl Spence, if PBC and Earl Spencer said Terrence Crawford is bullshit, which he was bullshitting, if they had said he's bullshitting, we're done with this guy and we're gonna do Spence versus Thurman in December, I would have been blaming their ass. That's basically what Crawford did.
After Canelo turned down the contract to fight Errol Spence, right? Tom Brown, right? He came out publicly and said we had Errol Spence on the deal. Once Canelo said I'm not interested in the deal, that's when Errol Spence said, okay, Canelo doesn't want me. Pacquiao and Floyd are retired. Crawford's the only big fight left for me, right? And I think, look, me personally, I think maybe Errol Spence, a part of him did want the fight. I think the PBC and Al Heyman, and I told you this
that's the only fight he wants at 147. That is the only fight he wants at 147.
Listen, man, I let you have your little waffle, man. He's not going to make weight for 147. You get way too aroused, man. Calm down.
Even Crawford has said over and over, who has been the one continually saying, I don't need this fight. I don't need this fight. I'll never fight him.
Oh, okay, what about Mr. I'm to chase my chickens and ride my horses? What happened? What happened when Crawford pulled up in Texas? What happened, bro? When Crawford pulled up in Texas, what did Errol say? I want to ride horses and chase fucking chickens. That's what he fucking said, bro. Mr. Easy Route.
He did not pull up
Mr. Easy Route.
No, he did not.
Mr. Cat Belt. Mr. Cross the Street.
Bro, can you mute this dude?
Mr. Cross the Street. Mr. Cat Belt. Mr. I want to chase chickens.
Hold on.
He's way too much. Once again, he's talking about something he has no idea about.
Hold on to what, bro? He made his point. I'm trying to make mine. He's cutting me off.
Earl Spence went to Oklahoma. Earl Spence went to no, you talking me up into Crawford. You got your facts wrong. And the reason Earl Spence
you got your facts wrong.
The reason they went to Oklahoma, him and his ex-manager Adrian,
who I also want to be reporter. I don't care if you're a freelance want to be reporter. I don't give a fuck.
Him and his ex-manager Adrian,
want to be a reporter. I don't give a shit.
That they went, because you don't want facts. You just want to run with some shit.
Errol Spence turned down $50 million, bro. Crawford accepted zero. Conversation's over.
Let him go. Let him go, Lefty. Errol Spence turned down what?
Listen,
you said Errol Spence turned something down. Well, what did he turn down?
Bud Crawford came to the PBC and Al Heyman, right? He had a $50 million deal. He said, yo, I got an investor. Let's split this pie because these motherfuckers are broke as fuck. Can't put a bag of Doritos on the table, fighting for nothing. Those back-end checks. Poor Jamal Charlo fucking losing his house, bro, over those back-end checks, right? So it is what it is, bro. Errol Spence was like, no. I want to make sure Steven Espinosa's books are balanced. I want to make sure my daddy, Mr. I'm my own boss, Mr. Big Fish, had to make sure Big Daddy Heyman was happy. That's what happened, bro.
And
Crawford reached fucking everything. Report? Cross the street. Rematch clause.
Where did you hear this report?
No, when he did the live. When Terrence Crawford did the live, covering the events.
All right.
Jimmy, can I ask you a few questions?
I don't remember BBC doing a live. I remember Errol Spence getting drunk on Twitter, going back and forth. And when Bud said, what about the dates on the contract? Well, what did fucking Mr. Yellow Beezy do? Started arguing with Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, that's what happened, bro. Crawford did everything, bro. Cross the street, get a belt, play B-side, rematch clause, 50 million.
Mute him for a second. He's too. That's what I'm saying. He's too emotional. He just started yelling.
Go ahead.
When Crawford filed his lawsuit against Bob Arum, did the lawsuit not say that Bob Arum never tried to make this fight? Did the lawsuit say that? Yes or no?
I'll make a point in that. Then I'll
did the lawsuit say that?
Hold on. It did say that, and I'm gonna pull it up right now. Hold on.
Yeah. So basically, all of this stuff that you talking about, they never even attempted to make a fight with Earl Spence.
Attempted to do what? Crawford, listen, he cornered your boy in the hallway. What did your boy do? Start laughing. I'm going to show Porter easy route. I saw the pussy. I smelled it through the screen.
Bro,
listen, Errol Spence said, I want to go down the easy route. Did Errol Spence not say he wants the easy route?
So I can go through this whole history of this guy, Crawford. Okay,
ahead.
First of all, when it came to sign the contract,
bitch asked me a question.
When it came to sign the contract with Manny Pacquiao, what did Bomac say? I know what he told me personally on our space. He said, "No, I told him don't sign that contract because we don't know if all the money is there." So they turned down the Manny fight. When Keith Thurman told to him and said, "I want $10 million to fight you," what did they say? He want too much money. Well, what did they counter offer him? They counter offered him nothing. Okay, they didn't even attempt to make that fight. If somebody come to you with the same way Crawford came to PBC with an outrageous number, but they counter offer him and tried to get him down to an acceptable number. They wouldn't even attempt to do that with Earl Spence. I mean, with Keith Thurman, they just said no, he wants too much. We're not even going to try to make the fight. When Keith Thurman
said ESPN sent him a contract when he was an undefeated world champion, he turned it down. So again, bro, you got to go by the receipts. You can't get.
No, he did not. No, he did not.
I go by receipts. Keith Thurman came out and said ESPN sent me a contract.
No, he did not. They said he wanted. They sent him probably a contract for a promotional deal.
No, probably, bro. You weren't in the room. How the fuck would you know?
He wanted a fight.
How would you know?
He wanted a fight.
ESPN sent. Keith Thurman confirmed it. I believe Keith Thurman. I don't believe you. I believe Thurman. Keith Thurman went on record and said ESPN sent him a contract, and he said no. Conversation's over.
He turned down Keith Thurman, and now he's.
You can't turn down Pacquiao. The Middle East was closed. The Middle East was on lockdown, bro.
He told Bud not to sign a contract.
He turned down the fight for Qatar on lockdown.
Now he's turned down Earl Spence.
He turned down Errol Spence. Okay, bro. He turned down Errol Spence even though he agreed to 0%.
He's turned down Errol Spence. He's turned down Keith Thurman. He's turned down Manny Pacquiao.
No, he's never turned him down. Listen, you can't turn down. No, he didn't. Turn down Keith Thurman. Mr. Keith Thurman turned down the ESPN contract. You're so fucking stupid, man. You're fucking retarded. You're fucking retarded.
Remember when we asked Bomac about it, he said, I told him.
Keith Thurman came out in his own mouth and said, I said no to ESPN. What the fuck are you talking about?
Not to sign the contract because I want to see all the money, where all the money is coming from.
That's what Keith Thurman said no. Keith Thurman said no.
Did he say that, BB? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Keith Thurman said he said no to the ESPN.
Thank you.
Did Keith Thurman say? Okay, bro. Did Keith Thurman say?
What he be talking about? He just
did Keith Thurman say he said no to an ESPN contract to unify with Crawford?
That's why he got to yell and get all emotional.
We gotta have a discussion. We gotta let each other talk.
You can't have a discussion with him because he's too emotional. He doesn't go off of facts.
I answered about 90 of your questions. You won't answer one of mine.
I just laid out 3 cases with them on record turning down 3 different fights, and you still yelling about when Errol Spence went to Oklahoma. And do you know why he went to Oklahoma? Because his ex-manager Adrian Clark, who also interviewed, told us a story that their intent was to go to Oklahoma to go see Crawford. He said we didn't know Ellie Setback was going to be there because
what happens when you want to be a journalist, man.
It was a little fight. And Crawford's lawsuit that he swore under oath to tell the truth in his lawsuit, he says Bob Arum never even tried to make the Spence fight. So first it was Bob Arum fault. Now it's PBC fault. It's never Crawford's fault.
He was suing Bob Arum for
first it was Bob Arum's fault. Then it was Bob Arum's fault. Now then it was Earl Spence and PBC and Al Heyman's fault.
Tell me when you're done. Tell me when you're done, man.
It can't be everybody else and you the only one right.
You keep talking, man. You keep talking. When I try to talk, you cut me off.
This dude has a pattern of doing this shit.
Hold on. Let Jimmy get off.
Exactly, bro. This guy's so fucking emotional, man. I don't like. I mean,
I'm not emotional. I deal on facts.
Bro, it's not about facts, bro. Just let me have my say, man. And first of all, look, at the end of the day, like, these are the facts, right? And look, listen, man, you're fucking 10 minutes, man. Like, I don't know what you got up your ass, man, but it must be spicy. Listen, my thing is this, man. At the end of the day, like, Keith Thurman came out publicly. It's documented on YouTube. He said ESPN sent me a contract to fight Terence Crawford in a big unification. I said no. The conversation's over. Errol Spence's rebuttal. This is how fucking dumb the Errol-sexuals are. Errol Spence's rebuttal to 50 milli was a bag of fucking Doritos. And guess what Bud said? Let me finish, man. Let me finish. Why you cut me off? Let me finish. This, man, you and your bitch emotions.
You talk about the hedge fund. Understand. Listen to the logic of this. Listen to this logic. Earl Spence went to Al. Terence Crawford went to Al and was like, "Yeah, I got this hedge fund, and these guys know you, and we got $25 million a piece." If they knew Al Heyman, why wouldn't they contact him himself? Why would you send Terence Crawford, who don't know? Why would you send as a person with $50 million? Why would you send Terence Crawford to talk on your behalf? He can't even spell which and which. He can't even spell which and which. Why would you send Terence Crawford to talk on your behalf? You got $50 million.
You want me to answer your question?
It makes no sense. He said they do Al Heyman, so why wouldn't they go to Al Heyman himself?
He called out, listen, he found the investor. He called Heyman. Heyman said, I'm not letting anyone touch it. You guys are going to fight for fucking free.
Why didn't this mysterious $50 million
never trust a drunk, never trust a sodomite. Errol Spence is a fucking drunk and a homosexual. You can't ever trust these dudes, man.
See, I told you. Because when you don't have facts, you have to attack. When you don't have facts, you have to attack.
Let's have a parliamentary procedure. Jimmy, can I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. No, I'm trying to
Okay,
be civil here.
so why,
Listen,
at
I'm
least
trying to be
from your
civil.
perspective,
I
why
try to
did
answer none
Terrence
of his
Crawford?
questions. He keeps cutting me
Wait,
off.
hold on.
Bro,
VV is not the person you're debating. He wants to ask you. He's
Yeah,
neutral
go ahead.
like me. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm letting y'all
I
go.
know, bro. You muted me, but you won't mute him,
I
bro.
have a
So I
dog
don't
in
know
it.
if you're neutral.
No, because
I don't know if you're neutral, bro.
The thing is, I'm muting you because you're going, fuck you, motherfucker. There's something up your ass. It's spicy. Is this?
No,
Is that?
no.
You know,
That was the
instead of
second
going,
time.
hey, look, the article
No.
that I'm reading from, if he was interrupting you with insults, I would have muted him
No, he
too.
did.
I'm
But
trying
it
to
doesn't
get
matter,
you guys to have a conversation.
Yeah,
You're
but I let him
screaming
have his
and yelling.
say, and when I was having my say, he'd cut me off. This guy would ask me a question. He was literally
Nobody is
answering
cutting
his
you
own
off,
question.
man. You're just
Yeah,
emotional.
you did, man.
That's why
Watch
you
the
got to go to
playback, man.
personal attacks. You're emotional. You have to
Hold
go
on.
to personal
Let
attacks
Vivi
because you have no
Vivi got
facts.
some questions. Vivi got some questions. Who's neutral like me? Vivi, can you please ask Jimmy some questions?
Okay, Jimmy, from your perspective, why did Terrence Crawford decline the offer from Al Heyman and Errol Spence? I know you rebuttal, like he had a larger offer, but why did he turn down their offer?
What offer? There's never a contract sent, bro. There's no date on the contract.
He didn't
According to Al
turn it
Heyman,
down. He said he agreed to
bro, he
everything.
asked me the question. Here we go again. And your bitch emotions, and then you got emotion when I disrespect you.
Hold
You
on,
act like a bitch, I treat you like one.
Hold on, let him answer the question. Go ahead, Jimmy.
This is my question. At the end of the day, Errol Spence and publicly came out, and Al Heyman told us, "But look, we're gonna fight with or without you in November. Errol Spence is gonna make quote unquote 8 figures with or without you." Errol Spence, according to Terrence Crawford, had not picked up the phone in over a month. There's no date on the contract. There were issues of transparency.
Earl Spence hadn't picked up the phone. Earl Spence wasn't negotiating. Earl Spence sent his representative to
Yellow
negotiate.
Beezy, bro. Put the Yellow Beezy CD on. Jam
Okay,
out, bro.
now this is getting off
Turn
the
the Yellow Beezy up.
Okay, so I have
I'm
another
telling you,
Jam out, man. Stop twerking.
listen to how stupid. Listen,
Stop
these
twerking,
Crawford
man.
fans.
Yellow Beezy in the
are
house,
so
bro.
fucking
Get that Yellow
stupid,
Beezy
bro.
energy,
These
bro.
Crawford
Turn it
fans are
up.
bro, they are
Stop twerking,
borderline
bro.
retarded. He said Earl Spence didn't pick
Yellow
up the
Beezy has
phone.
anything
Why
to
the
do with
fuck would
boxing.
Earl Spence be negotiating a multi-million-dollar fight when he has a representative to do that for him? The same representative that has negotiated multi-million-dollar fights.
Yeah, man.
The Thurman versus the Thurman.
At the end of the day,
look. The
no.
Thurman.
They didn't reply to his
Fury
emails,
versus
though. Listen,
AJ,
they didn't reply to his
Fury versus
emails.
Wilder, the AJ versus Charles
reply to
Martin,
his emails.
the Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd, the Floyd versus Conor McGregor. This is the guy Earl Spence had working for him. You know who Terrence Crawford got working for him?
Listen,
Some
don't be
dude was
comparing
telling him,
Floyd
some
to Errol
Nigerian
Spence,
prince
bro.
is telling him he got a $50 million hedge fund. Okay.
Listen,
okay,
he said, I've got an investor.
Going back to the
Listen,
question.
this is why they were the infant. He said, I've got an investor. What did Al Heyman say? What Al Heyman should have called his bluff. What did Al Heyman say? No one's touching it. That's what Al Heyman said. No one's touching it. We're fighting for fucking free. Al Heyman said, fuck you. You're fighting for free. You're fighting for free. Fuck.
The intelligence of these people it's just amazing how stupid these people are.
Bro, your IQ is too low to debate with me. Your IQ is too low.
Lefty, let me ask you a question. Should should had Errol Spence considered the $50 million from this investor that Crawford?
He did consider it. He did consider. He said, "Who are the investors?" And what did Crawford say?
That's not true. He called Al Heyman up, and before he finished the sentence, Al Heyman said, "No one's touching it." Al Heyman said, "No one's fucking touching it."
Well,
he said, "Let's go." Why do you think Bud was saying, "Let's meet up"? What the fuck do you think he was meeting up for? To twerk with Yellow Beezy? No, bro. That's what Spence is into. No one wants to listen to Yellow Beezy twerk or kiss. No, they were meeting up to cut the pie up. But he said, "Come on, let's meet up. You bring your lawyer, I bring mine. You sit in the middle. Let's broker this deal." What did Errol Spence say? Nah, let me get drunk and flip a car. Let me get drunk and flip a car.
Number one, listen. Stay over there in the UK. Stay over there in the UK.
Bro, stay over there on fucking Twitter, bro. You ain't no media reporter. You ain't worth a motherfucking thing. You some freelance bitch, a dick rider. That's what you fucking is, bro.
You only know what the fuck rap is.
We've reached
Stay, listen to whatever y'all listen to over there and go eat some beans.
Bro, what? Hey, listen, bro. At the end of the day, I put you in a body bag again.
That's what beans and toast, my guy. Don't talk about no rap.
Okay.
Because you way outside your league.
All right, dog. Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say, dog. Whatever you say, bro.
And your royal family that's fucking insane.
Hey, listen, stick to the cornbread and Kool-Aid. Listen, stick to the cornbread and Kool-Aid.
That's your culture.
All right, man. I appreciate you being on the show, Jimmy, but cornbread, Kool-Aid, all this type of I can't allow that, bro. I can't allow that on my channel.
Exactly. And see, I can't. I'm telling you all the same, especially these fucking white British people. They think black people in America is stupid as fuck, and we don't know what we're talking about.
I didn't even get to asking about the transparency with Terrence Crawford and these investors that he so-called has, man.
No, the thing is, as you guys saw, I was letting y'all cook, but and I don't mind people getting passionate, but when you screaming and cursing at somebody, as opposed to countering facts to the facts that Lefty was bringing to, and whatever, I don't got no dog in the fight, but you can't be calling dudes the F word that rhymes with maggot.
That's because because he gets emotional because he don't have no facts. He's just emotional.
Talk about Kool-Aid and cornbread. I can't allow that on the
He's
channel.
emotional. See, he has nothing else to go to but homophobic and racist attacks because he can't think. I'm telling you, these Crawford fans are some of the dumbest people I ever met in my fucking life. Yeah, all of them are stupid.
I mean, and I not everybody has all the facts, so I can see how people may have differing opinions.
We only had the facts that were put out in public, and one of the facts that was put out in public by Terrence Crawford himself was, "I agree to everything." But, so I don't understand why people talk about, well, why would you fight for no guarantee? Well, he agreed to it.
Well,
according to him.
My biggest
why would you fight for this? You agreed to it according to him.
My biggest problem with Crawford is that he said publicly, "Oh, he's done with the fight. He's good if that fight doesn't get made." Blah blah blah. All this type of shit, and I'm like,
and he's been saying it for years.
That's why it makes him look bad.
He's been saying it for years, and when he had a chance, and when he finally had a chance to make the fight, he didn't do it.
Yeah,
because it's past him. That fight is never. I keep telling you, that fight is never fucking happening.
But somebody's commenting in the chat that'll never happen. He goes, "Broadway Joel, have Ring IQ on your show. He will cook this dude."
Hey, Ring IQ, whatever. I was in this. I was in Eastside Space with Ring IQ, and he ran the fuck up out of there. Stop it, my guy.
Yeah,
stop it. Stop it, my guy.
I don't think that.
I have invited him numerous times to talk to me. This nigga talking about why he got to get paid. Stop it, man. Go worship your hero on his channel, nigga. I ain't the one to fuck with.
Listen, I'm with
because I pull up court documents, motherfucker. I got every goddamn court document inbox in the last 20 years, nigga. So don't tell me about no damn Raphael fucking article when I can pull up a fucking court document, an affidavit to prove what the fuck I'm saying is correct. Nigga, you better go play with your bitch. Don't play with me.
Yeah, man. Shit.
Tell them, Broadway, when you first met us, what was the one thing that we were always in tune with when you first met us? The business side of boxing.
Yeah, the business.
The numbers. Sure. Nigga, I go deep on this shit, nigga. So you gonna get what you want, but ain't gonna want what you get.
Yeah. Listen, I always knew boxing. I was a boxing fan. But when I met you guys, especially you and MVO, and I hate to give him credit on camera, but I gotta give it where it's due, you know. You and MVO, not for nothing, broke a lot of the business part down. Why certain fights happen, why they don't, you know, certain stuff like that. Yeah, so I definitely trust your business knowledge when it comes to the boxing business.
Yeah, now if you want to debate, if you want to debate some women's boxing, he'll beat me in that because I don't watch that shit.
No, and on top of that, we did we also through your platform, we've talked to Steven Espinoza directly. We talked to
Steven Espinoza, Bo Mack, Adrian Clark, Javante Davis, Calvin Ford. You know what I'm saying? And it's not me interviewing this guy. This is everybody gets their own chance to ask the questions they want to ask. So it's not me putting my slant on the interview. It's the fans of boxing asking the question they want to ask.
No, I know. That's why it's such a good platform, and that's why, again, I feel like a lot of us have came up. How do I say? A lot of us has either just a constant conversation always going on. I feel like we refine our ideas, our opinions. And
they sit up here, they be kissing Bud ass, nigga. I say what I say about Bud, and I still got ties with his camp. I could get this motherfucking coach on my show too. Nigga, y'all sitting up here doing all this ass kissing, tongue all down and all up on nuts all in his mouth, and y'all nigga, and these niggas don't even pay no motherfucking attention to y'all.
Nah, real shit.
Clowns. Yeah, me and Luba Devella might be on the show Friday too. We gotta try to get this shit situated for the betting show Friday on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm not dealing with these clowns, man.
I was on a YouTube channel yesterday up until 2 a.m. having this same debate. I was obviously, explaining to them why I think it's Crawford's fault. And
bro,
yeah,
you don't even have to do Crawford and Spence. You could do Crawford and Thurman. You could do Crawford and motherfucking Crawford and goddamn anybody. First it was Bob Aaron's fault, according to the lawsuit. He blames Bob. Now it's Al Heyman and PB. It's always going to be somebody else's fault when it comes to Crawford. He blames everybody except him and his team. That's my problem with it. That's my problem. I don't like people that don't take responsibility. And don't make shit happen.
I feel you. I got a question. Somebody's asking you a question in the chat, and then I'll end the show. It says Chicken Talk. Who you got? Inouye or Fulton?
Shit, I got both. I'll be rooting for both. I've been a Inouye fan longer than I've been a Fulton fan, but I like Fulton too. But man, I'm gonna be sad for whoever loses, and I'm gonna be happy for whoever wins.
Yeah, man. I that's high level fighting, and I don't think the weight is as much as people make it out to be. It's 4 pounds. Like these low. It's not like when you go from 40 to 47. That's 7 pounds, and it's an extra 3 pounds. But 4 pounds, I don't feel like it's too much. And also, Inouye's
the percentage is higher though, ain't it? That 4 pounds from 118 to 144.
You saying like the percentage of their body weight?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to do the math, but yeah, most likely it is.
So it ain't the numbers might be smaller, but the body weight percentage is about the same or higher.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I don't know. But also Inouye missed weight in his last fight. He had to leave and come back to the scales. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
So my point,
go ahead.
No, I'm saying my point is the guy's not a small 118. If you struggling to make weight to the point that you have to go and hop on a treadmill for an hour or whatever he did. I have no idea what he did, but that lets you know he a big dude. So I don't think the size is that big. Is that going to be that big of a problem? Also, I think that that Fulton is not going to use his size in this fight. He's not going to try to maul Inouye, considering Inouye's such a big puncher. Like I think he's going to try to box more. So I don't think the size advantage, even if there is one, is going to be that significant. I don't know their heights. Let me look up their heights. But
all right, man. I'm about to finish clipping up some more of this interview.
Yeah. Now do your thing. Yeah, I'm gonna just look up their heights and then I'll hop off. But I appreciate you hopping on, man. All right, so Inouye is 5'5" with a 67.5 reach. And Stephen Fulton is 5'6.5" with a 70.5 inch reach. So yeah, he is significantly taller, but he's not a puncher. He's 21-0 with 8 knockouts. So although Stephen Fulton, a great fighter, he has a 31.1 knockout percentage, while Inouye is 24-1 with 24-0, excuse me, with 21 knockouts with an 87.5 knockout ratio. So, he's a big puncher. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yo, guys, I appreciate all you guys hopping on, man. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Today was a wild one. I was not expecting all this to happen. I was actually expecting an interview to happen. I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate all you guys for being on. Hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, guys.